I pray to God and ask for help, hoping that I can change. So much be going on inside this life I'm living, man. Trying to move on, but shit, my past is always catching up. No time for that, these opportunities be passing, bro. Gotta be strong for the ones who don't feel like holding on. It's in your struggle where you find out who you really are. Your times go hard, but you just need to put your faith in God and keep on going. Pray my lyrics really take me far. I'm thinking twice about my life and how I'm living. Say you better not slip up, these devils out here trying to get you, man. Say what I can about this plan, bitch, I don't understand. These streets will take your soul, I'm trying to help y'all comprehend. But life is like shit when you living with no purpose. Gotta get yourself together, try to break right through the surface, yeah. I lost my brother to that rock, man, this shit is insane. My heart goes out to my mama, she really feel my pain. Find my composure out here walking like a soldier, but this shit weighing me down just like a motherfucking boulder. My heart stuck in the past, I'm out here trying to find some closure. Just gotta keep on going, knowing the battle still ain't over, yeah. I pray to God and ask for help, hoping that I can change. So much be going on inside this life I'm living, man. Trying to move on, but shit, my past is always catching up. No time for that, these opportunities be passing, bro. Gotta be strong for the ones who don't feel like holding on. It's in your struggle where you find out who you really are. Your times go hard, but you just need to put your faith in God and keep on going. Pray my lyrics really take me far. The second verse feel like I'm cursed, but shit, I've been through worse. Just thank God, cause I know I could have been riding in that hearse. Through all my ups and all my downs, I gotta put them first. Jesus, my kingdom, been with me through all my strongest hurts. Felt like there's demons on my shoulder trying to tear me down. But to get brighter shit, you gotta get broken to the ground. All them drug addicts and killers up on my side of town. But fuck it though, I'm posted straight up out that underground. Preach to the young and stay in school, that street life isn't cool. Lead by example, cause if I do it, they gon' do it too. I'm off that 9th Street teaching boxing to the kids and youth. Just trying to get back to my city, shit, that is the truth. I pray to God and ask for help, hoping that I can change. So much be going on inside this life I'm living, man. Trying to move on, but shit, my past is always catching up. No time for that, these opportunities be passing, but gotta be strong for the ones who don't feel like holding on. It's in your struggle where you find out who you really are. Your times go hard, but you just need to put your faith in God and keep on going. Pray my lyrics really take me far. Yeah, man, it's like through it all, you know, you gotta keep pushing, you gotta keep on going. It ain't never ending. You got the last say. Shit, just put your faith in God.
What up, y'all? What up? What up? Let me say hello to everybody I see coming in the room. We got Tori91. What's up, Tori? Vibrant. You know, I always appreciate you being first and dropping, you know, the information that the people need. Pam, what it do? Moxie, hey, always great to see you, Moxie. What's up, little Mama Obama? Buddha Bell, Chocolate Thunder, Lee Pepper. All right, cool. So there's a few different reasons why I'm having this live, right? Well, first, I'm sitting down here and I'm thinking, okay, I got a 5 o'clock live. Let me dig up some kind of content from somewhere, because pretty much everything is like quiet it's dry as sand and just trash. That's why you see trash there. And then you see a recycle bin on my thumbnail, because, you know, at this point, we're pretty much relying on some recycled content. Hey, ATL Gail, one of the things that made me look into stuff today was some of your comments from last night. I didn't know how crazy stuff was at all whatsoever. And we'll get into that in just a second in my experience. And I really want to take it. I really want my supporters to hear what I went through from last night with Atlanta street interviews and how we got here. And it has to do with people in the sector and people that we know, or I wouldn't give a damn. I wouldn't tell y'all at all whatsoever. What's up, So Bomb? So, you know, I did some digging and whatnot. Let me go back. the first the first bullet point was going to be uppity pulling up things from Ness's past. I don't know why she's going so hard against Ness right now, but we really don't have to talk about that. Let's skip right over that topic and get into the experience that I had with individuals that got into my notifications, got into my IG, got into my email, every way you can think of getting in touch with me. That's what people did today. I was like, what the hell? What's up, Donna Hughes? How you doing? All right, so okay. So last night, Atlanta Street Interview showed up, and me personally, I didn't know who he was, right? But me living in Atlanta, me having like access to open up like 10 tabs or whatever on my computer, phone, this and that. So while I'm hanging out or whatever, I'm like, okay, I see like, what's up, Goddess V? I'm like, there's a lot of people that are feeling this, having a good time, chopping it up with dude or whatever. I'm like, okay, cool. And I'm looking down at the comments, especially ATL Gale. I'm looking down at the comments. I'm like, what the hell? They're like, oh yeah, he, does this, he does that. I don't want to say specifically because it's like it's borderline, and there's a couple things I'll have to say that's borderline and just kind of skip over it. You're just gonna have to fill in the blanks. Hey Sarkonos, how you doing? Thank you for being here. All right. So last night had that individual here. We did some fun things. I'm actually going to share screens so that you can get like the context of it for just a few minutes, right? And then, hey, RNY. So what happened? Okay, so I wake up and I get a whole lot of hate mail. Not hate, I mean hate mail at first. This person should have been taught, treated this way. This person should have been treated that way. And I never remember rolling out the red carpet on my channel ever, unless you're a special invited guest, co-host, or whatever. So, individual, the Atlanta Street Interviews was like, I've been around the beef sector. I see how everybody gets down. I've been around the Mo3 sector a little bit, and I see, how those people get down. So a dose of everything to, coming from me just made sense. A little bit of the woo banging, letting uppity over talk everybody. So I dropped her about 3 or 4 times. And things like that. We did like a speed dating game, and just I wouldn't call it an interview, but I'd call it like a question and answer. So what happened immediately after that? Okay, so I'm getting tagged in community wall posts left and right, and it pretty much followed along with the comments. And you said the street sector used to be on fire, Lee Pepper. Yeah, that's what I heard. But so I'm looking at these, I'm looking at the mentions or whatever on people's community walls. So usually people do that to hate on you, right? I'm like, okay, well, I saw Atlanta Street Interviews has done this to women. Atlanta Street Interviews has done that. And the crazy thing is yes, he was on the panel and admitted to a whole lot of those things. But at the same time, we got the, changed man type conversation, just which would be pretty normal. But I'm like, okay, fine. I have like 10 comments, or not 10 comments, but 10 people in my chat. I'm not not 10 people like in my chat, 10 people in the chat last night that were concerned. So I'm like, okay, cool. Let me go ahead, and the tabs I opened while I was doing research, multitasking, letting people up on the platform or whatever. I'm like, let me look into this real quick. So I went to scrolling. You know what I'm saying? People, they're like, do your research. I sent a message out saying, thank you so much for, showing up last night. There was, a lot of positive comments and people had a good time and you were a good sport, yada, yada, yada. Basically, like, thanks for stopping through, whatever. Um, so that led me to my research. What do you say to ATL? Well, I came in on the end, and when I got up this morning and started from the beginning, I seen that he just came on his own. It was those who were writing for him, knowing his history. That's weird. That's the problem. Right here, right here. So I woke up to hate mail. That I didn't do this right. I didn't do that right. This is how the person should have been treated. Like on and on and on and on about how horrible of a panelist or whatever I am, or a host or whatever the hell you want to call me, right? So yeah, that's what I got pissed off enough to look into things. And what you're saying right here, you got to tell people, you got to actually come out with facts, you got to come out with information to tell somebody that they're tripping, right? So right here, when you said it was those who were writing for him, knowing his history, that's weird. That's exactly the bell that went off in my head. What's up, Trini? Cosmic Girl, what it do? Let's see. So yeah, that definitely put me into that action. So as I'm scrolling, right? When I scroll through his page, okay, it's some mixed stuff, just like everybody else said, the homeless, or dancers, or whatever the case may be. It all seemed normal at that point. But then once you put exposed behind the name of an individual that you're looking up, obviously you start to see other content creators that are reporting upon the individual. And I want everybody to know, I always do this based on the supporters. So if anybody takes this personal, I can't help it. If people bring things to my attention and I do the research, and the research doesn't match what people are bringing to my attention, I leave it alone. But if the research brings it home and it matches my description, I'm definitely going to talk about it. So as I'm scrolling, and I'm like, hmm, it said exposed, and they're all pretty much the same. But I came across one video, right? And the video, there's like three or four of Solid Sunny, and this gentleman. So I listened to it. It was phone calls, it was interviews, it was a whole like breakdown. And I'm like, what the hell? So what did I do? What did I do first? What'd you say? You said, I know about the ruckus about Marcus from the street sector, right? um Exploited those who are already in tremendous pain, right? See, Cosmic Girl, that's a lot of the comments I got last night, so that's what concerned me. Because I can't, as a content creator, no matter how much backlash you get from somebody, I can't sit here and have a lot of people be concerned. What would I look like if I had an individual on my platform where a lot of people were concerned about, and I just turned my head and ignored the issue? Then I would look like a person that condones certain behavior. Just like when Mikey came over here from Umar's sector, talking about mushing a woman in her face, taking the phone, and some whole DV stuff. I looked into that as well. And once I looked into that, I was able to, post shorts with a hotline number, and basically left it to the YouTube streets to, track that down. Queen Tulsa, I believe you're taking the lead on that. That's what you're saying. So it'd be really, really nice to see where you've gotten so far. ATL Gale, it says, what extremely disturbing is how he blamed all these homeless women for his perversion. It's their fault. They came off on him. He had nothing to do with it. See, the thing is, ATL Gale, last night, these comments like this, I was basically avoiding. Okay. The reason why I was avoiding it is I didn't want somebody's first experience to be like, he already had like landlord come up there. He had some people in the comments that he was trying to address or whatever. So I'm like, you know what? Let me make this as a good of an experience as I can, make it a good time. But I'm highlighting these comments now, ATO Gale, is because of the things that I dug up. When people threw out like Kiki, he's with Kiki now or whatever. I didn't put two and two together last night when I saw the comments to even consider. And at that time, I don't think I would have asked too many questions. What's up, New Biology? Glad you're here. Let's see. ATL, what'd you say? You said, yep, ATL, the man would have people talk to them about child's, actual trauma, right? And there was a situation where I did reach out to one of the women. She has a massive platform, and I don't know, it must have been like, I don't know, a coincidence that they met up on the street or whatever, but she has a story about when she had her kids with her, when Marcus pulled up on her, and exactly what the experience was. Based on today's conversation and what I think I have in store, I will definitely put those links in because I want everybody to see it for themselves. Now, what I do have is a receipt. What'd you say? I do apologize for going crazy on the platform. I think I flipped on me. Okay, got it. Yeah, I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like when I started scrolling and seeing more information about him, I could tell how a lot of women and, you know, some men, of course, could have had a trigger with him being on the platform because we were having a good time. You know, as I said, laughing and dropping uppity every time she interrupted and, you know, all that shit, right? They came on to him. Right, right. And see, the thing is, Pam, there's two sides to every story. That's why I have to present what I have. I'm not going to slander anybody. On one side of the coin, I 100% understand that he helped a lot of people. I know that there's positive commentary, but the first red flag to me is when he put his last video up. Now, I'm not going to tell you like how long it's been. You can go see for yourself. But like he was talking about doing this ongoing. But then I looked at it to see when he brought up his last video, and I'm gonna bring him up in a shared screen here in a second. And then I'm also going to ask if I can, you know, review some other stuff. And I'll tell you exactly how that's going down because I contacted the individual to make sure that I can talk about her story, which would be Sunny. And I don't want to share screen. And yeah, I could do, of course, I could do fair use. I could report on it, whatever I want. But since I really fucks with Sunny and Ken, I'm gonna chill for a second. I got a couple other receipts, and that's the biggest one. But I want Sunny to let me know whether I can play it or not. It's not from her channel or anything, but it is about her. And as I said, since I have respect for her, I'll chill. You said, RNY, you said that's very interesting how people were in an uproar about the guy mushing that lady in the face, but people was praising the guy for slapping Uppity phone out of her hand. Yeah, RNY. I think that that's selective outrage. You know what I'm saying? Like the more you don't like somebody that something happened to, the less that you say. So I'm pretty sure that's what the situation is. But RNY, truth be told, it's a time thing. You know, people know about it now. Queen Tulsa said that she's gonna, you know, spearhead the Operation Holla at Mike. So we'll see where that goes. The best I can do is just pull up information and do what I do. Vibrant said I don't watch him and haven't heard a lot about him. However, what little I have wasn't good. Right. I Vibrant. I was like, I mean, I stopped looking at videos because I was like, oh my God, all right, let me chill. I got enough. All right, ATL got no accountability, change behavior in this day. And you said they are together. Well, so allegedly this individual had a you know, a term. I wouldn't call it long term, so I'm saying term. Had a relationship with Sunny, solid Sunny. And then apparently, like I had Octavius and him on the panel at the same time last night. It was kind of crazy because allegedly he's with Kiki now. So so to see the women deal with him and know and have these strong opinions like in the chat, in the comments, under my notifications and stuff like that, it's really really weird to me that, you know, people aren't bringing the right things to other folks' attention. But as I said, I'm going to be fair down the board, and then we can basically figure out what's going on. And I'll tell you, you know, that I did reach out to Ken and things like that. But the first thing I'm going to show is how he reacted on the panel, and he's basically going to tell you like what he's all about, and that'll kind of lead us into what we found out and what we got going on. It's a lot of information for you to process in real time. It's almost impossible. I know it is. It's crazy. Wait, who's he with? Yeah, I answered that. I'm just slow on the comments. Yo, bro, what up, Ghetto? Good to see you, man. Glad tax season is over for you. What's up, pretty eyes? Good to see you. Cosmic Girl, would you say he has some 13-year-old male riding around with him? Odd stuff. I had to stop watching. He's a big time creeping predator. Cosmic Girl, I was basically defending. I wasn't defending him like, oh my God, he didn't do this, he didn't do that. I was defending him in a way where I wanted him to have a good experience. And as you saw, Cosmic Girl, I really do feel bad a little bit for skipping over a lot of negative comments. Now, he did look down to the comment section while he was on the panel and was concerned. And he was most concerned about ATL Gale because ATL Gale obviously has some strong opinions about the situation. You said he exploited the hell out of the little boy Josiah. I saw, I mean, there's so much on Josiah, it's insane. And apparently, like there's some kind of autism or whatnot in the family. I didn't read into the story because it really was depressing. Once I started seeing Josiah, I was like, oh God. So I kind of pulled back a little bit. Right? You said it was even rumored that he was bringing him into his apartment for his refers to his mother and his father have a problem with Marcus. Well, I would imagine that his mother and father would have a problem, you know, with those type of allegations. All that's alleged because I don't know, and I don't think that it's been proven. I don't think that there's been paperwork or anything like that. Literally, the only paperwork that I saw on him with his arrests, and people were crazy. They were like, "Oh, his arrest records and this and that." And this is actually for him on his defense, or his arrest records. He has a long history of being a criminal, or whatever. They were literally like suspended license and registration and speeding, like bullshit. So I will say that don't listen to the quote unquote extensive criminal history part of that whole situation. Adults should be putting their hands on people. Use words, fight. What else do we got here? This is about to be good. Yes, it is. Yeah, meow meow. It's definitely gonna be good. I'm gonna bring you very, very new content. You know, as I said, I could sit here and I could complain about 88. I could talk about, Lemon has to get his broom out tonight and sweep the floor. You know, I'll touch on that stuff, but this is the most pressing issue because I was, kind of I would say elbow in my rib to check some stuff out. You know what I'm saying? Just a little bit. You said, yeah, first time hearing about him. However, I enjoyed it and was in tears. Right. Pretty eyes. I was going along with it. It just like it was anybody else. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, for me to see us having a good time laughing and, kind of woo banging and then doing the like speed dating and then Uppity saying that she looks better than Beyonce. Like, I tried to talk her out of it, but she wouldn't listen to me. But Uppity being better than Beyonce, it was really fun. We were joking, whatever. So that's why I was really, really, just taken back by it. This is about to be some good content. Let me gather my popcorn and water. Yes, it is definitely going to be some good content. It's new. It's new. I mean, and I'm going to make it not boring. Because people are going to be like, Envy's talking about somebody that we don't know. Oh, yeah, you know him. Trust me. He's been through the beef sector. And I had no idea. And it was fun. It was crazy to me when my comments were like, Marcus, 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 Marcus. I'm like, what the hell? I'm like, so many people know this dude. But anyway, now I know why. Yep, ATL, that thing he had with this kid was off and mad. Yeah. And he was talking about, when he said, he had a draw because of, what did he say? Josiah is, outgoing and, has a good personality and brought in, a really good crowd for him. Let's see here. What's up, L. Edwards? Yeah, Lord have mercy, right? Yikes, I missed out. Well, I'm going to share a screen in just a second to show you exactly who I'm talking about, and you'll get it like a feel for him. He took Sonny to St. Croix and for his own gain. Right. Like, I can't believe the videos out there that are so descriptive between him and Sonny. Like, I have it queued up. But as I said, since I ride with Sonny and I ride with Ken, I'm gonna slow down for a second until she gets here. I did reach out to Ken. I told him to go ahead and reach out to her. I kind of want to get the go ahead. If I didn't like it, I just put it up there and laugh about it. Anyway, he has teamed up with the CC from the street sector, having very ugly feuds against Sonny. And yep. The Sonny thing is crazy, but what I want to know is being in the same sector as each, well, not the same sector, but in the same circle, I guess, how they could know that about Sonny. I don't know why is Sonny saying I don't really want to, speak to Kiki about the information, or maybe they don't get along, or maybe, the Octavius slash Ken situation. I don't know how, if that is the case about him, how it would be accepted. Because I would assume that somebody would put their foot on Sonny's neck to alert Kiki, or the other way around. I have no idea. I'm not here to speculate. I'm not here to tell people what to do, how to do it, whatever. He has been teamed up. Okay. Let's see. Cosmic Girl. Let's see what he got. I really do believe he with Kiki. A lot of people believe that he's with Kiki, because it was crazy watching him and Octavius be on the panel at the same time. They really, really were tolerating each other. You could just tell. It wasn't about, and people thought, oh yeah, you guys made up or whatever. They didn't say two words to each other. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, while he was up there, Octavius was kind of like, yeah, but he wasn't really directly to him. He was like, what the hell? So it was a very, very different dynamic. And I'm sitting there, I don't know what the hell's going on. I swear to you, I didn't know what was going on until I woke up this morning and saw a bunch of crazy shit. And I went through so many different comments one by one, and I'm like, okay, let me look into this. People are sending me links, people are sending me this and that, and I'm like, wow, what the hell? Yes, on the Marcus dude, Ghetto. And as I said, it's my obligation to get down to the bottom of things, whether people love it or hate it. I don't care. Is it bad for business and this and that? No, because my supporters want to know what the hell is going on with somebody I had on my panel. It's very, very simple. What's up, Rhonda? I thought Marcus was DK. Love. They look. Oh yeah, I got you. What's up, Arts and Crafts? Kiki always liked him. I'm not surprised. Oh, okay. So that leads me to believe that the reason why Octavius had kind of, an issue, which any man would, like, it's not on Octavius, it's any man. If you feel like your girl is actually, starting to feel somebody, you could tell there was obviously some friction and, some conversation, as I said, just like any other man, me personally, I'd be like, what the hell? Like, when he comes around, you start putting a smile on your face and acting crazy or whatever. So there was definitely a lot of tension. I mean, I'm telling you, like, go watch my video from last night and see when him and Octavius were on the same panel. It was very, very different. You can't help not knowing. At least you took the time to research it. I did, Cosmic Girl. I mean, I'm telling you, it was like an individual that just popped up on my panel. Josiah and the couple with autism was creepy. Right. That's why I didn't watch the whole thing, Pam, because I started watching the Josiah thing. But then I went to other content creators, and I can't believe that he's had an interaction with these different content creators. I'm like, ooh, let me look into it. But as I said, I skipped right back over the autism with Josiah. I have strong opinions too, but am I just going to listen? You don't have to. You don't have to. This type of show right here, we're trying to dig up some stuff to see if we're right. And if we're right, we're right. We're wrong, we're wrong. But it happened in public. I'm not coming out here telling you a conversation I had behind the scenes. You guys watched it happen right here. Some of you did, or replay games going to see what the thing was last night. And I'm going to share screen in a second. All right. So your strong opinions will definitely be, they're welcome. They're welcome. It's that kind of thing. What's up, Shady Tales? Always good to see you, brother. Once you dwell into the story, you will see a lot of behaviors that went down in the street sector and his page. Yeah, I'm not. I'll tell you this. I'm not going to dwell into the story any more than this. I'm just going to put this out here. We can make our conclusion on it, and then we'll move on. Like, I really, really, really don't want to dive deep into it, but I do have to address the fact that he was on my platform. Envy, go back approximately 1.5 years ago and look for the white couple who was encouraging to have a threesome with Josiah. Oh my God. Wow. I'm skipping the rest of that. That's crazy. Yeah, Josiah is in jail now. Is he really? Wow. For anybody that doesn't know what's going on, I'm going to go ahead and share screen right now before I go to any comments. So this was the individual that was here. Okay. Let's see here. All right. So this is who I'm talking about. And basically, I pulled up this part right here because he's going to give you a little bit of a breakdown of what he does. Now, remember, the people that just came in here, yeah, I see, right. A lot of people know, yeah, from my understanding, Kiki and Octavius used to do content against Marcus. So that's why it's surprising. Correct me if I'm wrong, the people who watch, right? That's what I heard as well, Molly. I mean, you should have seen the comments literally last night. He's with Kiki. He's with Kiki. He's with Kiki. I'm like, God damn. So I appreciate it, Cosmic Girl. Yeah, I'm trying to do content. You know what I'm saying? Like, we can holler and scream and do this and that. But I do think that this is very interesting. At least it's interesting to me to find out for y'all. TSW, always good to see you. What's up, Ms. Senator? Lena James. Let's look at this real quick. He's going to give you kind of a breakdown. I want you guys to feel like the energy, and then I will go back and we'll watch maybe a minute or two with him and Octavius on the panel together, and then you guys can watch it, the rest of it yourself. But let's listen to his breakdown for about a minute and a half here. Let's go. And I believe he's going to say, like, I remember he's going to say like a little summary of what he does. Let's go.
Do what I do. Don't try to do too much, because the other thing is that if you become a crutch for people, then they're gonna come to you when they need something.
That's true.
And you don't want to be that, because again, I interview tons of folks. So when you start to add the numbers up and the years start to add up, and you just realize how many people you've come across and you've talked to and had these more intimate conversations with, you don't want to put yourself in a position where people are really relying on you to that level. Right. So that's one of the things I've had to make sure to like not do. And I don't even want the credit.
Let me explain. Anybody that's in the comments section, in the crowd, the replay game, whatever, I know it's not brand new news. I get that, but it's brand new news to me. So I'm sure it's brand new news to other people. So I appreciate you being here. Let's go.
Of being like a savior or this or that.
Sure.
I want to be able to have agency to interview how I want to interview. If it's going to be a fun interview, we'll have fun. If it's shenanigans, it's shenanigans. If it's deep and a really teary interview, we'll do that. I don't want to be like boxed into being like a preacher or a deacon or like the ultimate good guy or anything like that. Like, that's not me. I'm Marcus. I'm a regular guy. I have my flaws, but my good massively outweighs any flaws or anything that people may be put off by.
Have you ever
see the reason why I asked questions. Sorry, I mute myself. My bad. So my basic feeling on the matter was, obviously this is a regular interaction, whatever. Okay, so let's go back. Let's see real quick. Okay, so Octavius came up. Now the crazy thing is the timing, right? So here's Octavius right before this gentleman comes up, and this is literally the first time that Octavius has ever hit my panel in his life. So I'm not quite sure what was going on here. I don't know if somebody saw like a notification that he was here. I don't know, or it was just coincidence. And as I said, like, nothing against Octavius, nothing against anybody. In a situation where a dude is around that has wanted your girl for an extended period of time, I'd probably pull up as well. But let's go. You guys are gonna feel the energy and see like this shift when he comes. Here's where I think here's where I thought you were losing steam with Diva, right? Too much. You
wasn't on in my basically sort of, and I think, and I didn't want to be like I was taking what I had going on off on the. Hello, how are you?
Hey, what's going on? What's going on? Host, chat, everybody. What's going on?
What's
hey, don't worry, Marcus. I'll take the heat for you being over here. I invited him.
So nobody invited me. Let's just get that out the way.
Oh boy, nobody he's a mole. He popped up. You're trying to get information.
Wait, no.
Hey, what's the time? What's the time frame on that? If you don't mind, Arts and Crafts, because that will help us know whether this is like how do I say it? It'll let us know if it was just a minute ago? Because people want to know the timeline. Because your comment right here, Kiki reported him for his behavior with homeless women, which makes this so crazy. So that comment that you just left would lead me to believe that that Kiki and him aren't together, because obviously if she reported him, I don't know. Like, are you saying like she reported them and they're not together? Are you saying she reported them and they are together, which would actually answer the point as to why it hasn't been brought to her attention, his past, and that she should do some research? Would you say why pull up when he has a YouTube channel? Marcus, I think, has money and a job. I don't know. I don't know. What's up, Honey Love? All right. So let's continue. So this is basically the energy shift with Octavius and him on the same panel. What'd you say? He made one man come out as transgender against his will. He even exploited his old pictures dressed as a woman on live. Good Lord. Like, what? Jesus Christ. Like, I tried my best. I literally did, contrary to popular belief, no matter what the comments were, no matter what people were hitting me up behind the scenes, I was just laser focused. I'm like, this is a new individual. Let me see what's going on. And here we are. It's crazy. That's why, like, I don't mind highlighting things like this now. Let's see this energy change real quick. We're not going to sit here and review my whole video, I promise. I just really want to get some context behind it so that we can pretty much figure it out. First, exploit the behaviors. Okay, you said Kiki spearheaded the first exploiting the behaviors of Marcus in the street sector. Wow. And didn't, if correct me if I'm wrong, but people did ask Octavius how the street sector is going, because I believe, am I right or am I wrong? Him and Kiki basically birthed that sector. That's basically the sector that they started. Am I right? Am I wrong? I don't know. But let's watch the energy. Let's go.
I'm not following anybody. I literally just I don't know, maybe about a week and a half ago, started seeing this stuff come up on my timeline. And so I decided to tap in just to kind of see what the history of Octavius and Kiki, they came over to my area last year and kind of, we went through a whole thing. Like you said, we're good now, but I kind of wanted to see what it was.
Yeah, Honey Love, he was here last night for like 4 hours. We did a lot. We did a lot. You said yes, Kiki. Yep, Kiki and Octavius did try to expel. Oh, okay. Yeah. You're basically saying what happened. Yeah, goodness. She or they say Kiki started it. Kiki started it. He came along for the ride. Talk about Jesus. Okay, Cosmic Girl, best believe he hit your link for a self-serving reason. Yeah, right. And that's part of the controversy as well, like how he was treated, and things along those lines. But god damn it, I guarantee you Envy's definitely gonna cover it. It's my content, right? Why not be your own content sometimes? My notifications, hello, Envy in chat. Thank you for going live. Of course, Courtney. If your notifications aren't hitting, you can do one of two things. First, hit the bell and scroll to all, because if you just hit the bell to subscribe, it doesn't send you all the notifications. Would you say? You said Kiki had to fight against other CCs that supported Marcus. It was bad. Oh, wow. You said, I know I caught some of your live last night. I didn't know this was that Marcus. Me neither. If I knew it was that Marcus, he would have been treated a whole different way. I'm not saying I would have attacked him or anything. Hold on. Let me get closer to y'all. Hold on. I'm not saying I would have attacked him or anything like that, of course, but at the same time, I probably would have been a little bit more cautious with some of the conversation, because the conversation, I was wondering what happened. Like when Lemon was up here, right? Everybody was chopping it up. Let's see, not just Lemon, but Uppity, of course, Soul Sister, other people. All of a sudden on the panel, he switched the conversation to talk about pain. Like I was like, like it just came out of nowhere. I'm not saying anything about his lifestyle or anything like that. It just literally came out of left field. He was talking about pain. I'm like, whoa. But again, I was trying to ignore the situation. I didn't know the dude. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I didn't know him from anywhere, I'd be like, hey, bro, what are we doing here? Yeah, it's self-serving. Yep, MB, it's smart of you to cover it. Good, Cosmic Girl. I appreciate that. I don't like to cover things like this. It's not really my strong suit in commentary, but at the same time, again, I have to cover it because it happened here, right? Marcus has a history with girls of questionable ages, right? Yep, that's what Kiki and Octavius lead the charge of exposing Marcus, right? Let's see here. What do we got? You're set for all. I will unsubscribe and resubscribe. You can do that as well. Hey, Cosmic Girl, thank you so much for the super sticker. I appreciate it. That makes me happy, and it makes me feel like I'm, doing what I'm supposed to be doing. And I see people, a few people left, shout out to those people that left. You're not interested in the Marcus conversation, but I sure am. Oh, yeah, you left and came back. Well, welcome back. They got in the nasty fight over there. Heck, they fought dirty with Sonny. Right. And that whole situation, like, that's why I want Sonny and Ken or Sonny. Well, I mean, specifically Sonny, but I didn't know why Ken was in the comments and sent me Instagram messages. He was in the comments. He said, hey, you want this to get spicy? I'm going to hit the panel. I'm like, oh shit, who's he gonna argue with? And now I know. And that's when I reached out to Ken. I was like, hey man, I didn't understand your comments yesterday. I thought you were gonna come up here and go after like Octavius or Uppity or somebody like that. And I didn't know the history. That shit is crazy to me. If you have discernment, you can look in that man's eyes and tell he's a demon. And the first time Krista says, as he looks like he smells good. I know. Krista was being thirsty. That shit was ridiculous. That shit. Ugh. Can I slide you my phone number? I was like, Krista, what the hell? Who did? So Ken Nola. Lena, if you're not familiar with Ken Nola has a very close relationship with Solid Sonny. I don't know if you call them a YouTube couple. I don't know if you call them an offline couple. I have no idea, but they are very, very closely linked to one another. He was called the homeless hoocher or huncher. Wow. I mean, he said, what did he say? He started off giving the homeless $5 for an interview. I believe then he said he bumped it up to 10 and then he went to 20. Now, when I brought up the hotel room to him the other last night, I was like, I said I was trying to actually big him up a little bit because people are like, oh yeah, he only gives people $5, $10. He's like, I don't like to travel with that much money, whatever. I was listening to that. Then people are like, hotel. I'm like, yeah, bro. I said, people say that you do a little bit more for the ladies than just give them $5, $10. Sometimes you put them up in hotel rooms, whatever the case may be. He cut that off immediately. Well, I don't want people to think that I'm into, that within my business model, whatever. I'm like, oh, okay, well, no problem, bro. It's cool. Let's go on to the next question. But then when I did my research or whatever, when I was looking through and somebody told me to look at a specific video, he was interviewing a woman. He was interviewing a woman in a hotel room. So I was like, okay, all right. So I think now I know why people are saying he gets women a hotel room. I think you guys were kind of writing cryptic because he was up here. But after I watched it for myself, I was like, hold on a second, because he was like, I don't want people to think that that's who I am. I'm like, all right, cool. We'll skip over that, but we can't skip over it then. If you don't know Lemon, Lena, we're going to be at Lemons right after this. We are redirecting and teleporting over to Lemons. Lemon has a gallon of sangria on deck, so it's definitely going to be a crazy night. And I will tell you just a little bit before we go over there how I think that he's sweeping the floor. You know what I'm saying? Like, he says he's shaking the room and this and that. Well, you know what? We're going to make him shake the room because, there's, I would say, just judging from being on YouTube and whatnot, you can kind of tell different people's attitudes and whatnot. You said, oh my God, she would. Oh, you guys are talking. Okay. What do we got? I don't want to miss anybody's comment at all. What's up, OG Beauty? Glad you're here. What's up? Thank you, Molly. Okay, you guys are talking to each other. All right. That's how I found Sonny. He took her on a trip to the island, and then he blamed her nightmare. Oh, wait. To the island, and then he became her nightmare. Oh yeah. I mean, TSW, when I listened to the phone calls and I listened to the videos and I listened to all that, just really judging the way that him and Sonny communicated, I was like, oh, if you look at the thumbnails and stuff, he's giving her flowers and everything looks hunky-dory, right? But then when they have these phone conversations, was I listen to the recordings and stuff, it seemed very toxic and a little bit not just toxic but distant. You know what I'm saying? Not like really good energy at all whatsoever. And that's what I said. I'm waiting for Sonny to get here so that I can play that. So let's say they have history. Yep, that's what I heard. They've been fighting since last year. The thing is I was trying to put in the timeline, like, yes, this is being messy or whatever, but obviously I was trying to put it in the timeline. And I was like, okay, people started reviewing this relationship between him and Sonny about a year ago. And I'm like, okay, well, that's a while ago. But then I was like, hold on a second. If they reviewed it a year ago, then they're reviewing something in the past. So let's go ahead and cut that in half to 6 months. I was like, okay, so this is very, very recent. And now I can kind of see why him and Octavius had, a strange, testosterone to testosterone, strange off energy last night. Nothing new. I have to catch the replay. Yep. Not quite sure what Honey Love means about nothing new. I know that it's old if you're bringing that up. Or you might be meaning in a different context. I could never act that thirsty. It's cringy as fuck. I've never in my life. I'll be honest with you, Honey Love. I was trying to be diplomatic. I was trying to be cool, whatever, and run the panel. Krista definitely should have taken about 4 or 5 steps back. It was getting weird. I will say that. You know what I'm saying? He's cheap, Envy. Apparently, and his thing about only giving people that much money is because he didn't want to be out on the streets carrying any more money than that. So yes, that is definitely on the table what some of the people were saying last night. And they were actually saying that about his travels, because he's like, yeah, I travel, all the time to Arizona here. His favorite interviews, he said, have been in New Orleans, which is very ironic, like his favorite interviews have been in New Orleans. But okay, OG Beauty, I've only heard the stories involving Sonny. I didn't know last night that it was him on the panel. Me neither. Like literally, if I would have known that was him on the panel last night, we would have had like not a bad conversation. Yeah, Honey Love, I believe Lemon is gonna go ahead and I don't know if he's gonna push the cousin Taylor pour out, but yeah, he's got a gallon of sangria, and shout out to him. Let's go. You know what I'm saying? Let me go see what he looks like. I'll be right back. OG Beauty, I just showed it. Right here is what he looks like. That's what he looks like. Okay. All right. So ATO, listen, he did a video with a girl, and shortly after he disappeared. Rumor was he had something to do with it. Right. I mean, I saw so the dude entices women. Yes. And the thing is, Shady Tales, I don't look at one comment, I don't look at 2 comments, but once it starts being 4, 5, 6 to go look at certain things, I'm like, let me look into this. And I'll tell you this, dude, it got worse and worse as I went. I stopped doing research because the thing is I'm going to tell all. And is this going to be good for him? I don't know. I mean, we're both content creators, and if you have supporters, damn well if they bring you some information that they're not happy with, if you don't follow up on stuff like that, you look like a fool. You look like you have no regard for anybody's feelings. And then what starts happening to your platform is a free for all for people that don't really mingle with others. And then it happens over and over and over again until you got nobody in your channel. He also moved some of those women in with him and his daughters. That's what I heard. That's what I heard. Because it was once he said a 14-year relationship, and then he was talking about his different situations with these women. That was definitely one of the more shocking pieces of information I did hear. That he did move one of those girls in with him and his kids. Bye. We won't hold our breath. Okay. Unless it spiked. Well, you never know. You never know. It goes a long way. Let's see here. What do we got? All right. What do we got on the topic? Honey Love, I'm not familiar with Sunny. Oh, maybe they just lost. I only know of her from hitting Lemon's links. Right. Okay. Let's see. All his dates was publicized, used for content, even the one with Sunny. Right. But the thing is, though, Goddess, the one that people reviewed the most, other content creators, as I said, I reached out to a couple of the content creators that I'm waiting to get back to me that actually had reviews, especially the woman that was in Atlanta with her kids. She has a large platform. She has a very large platform, and they were out in the street, and I saw they were kind of arguing over YouTube clout, and he had his camera out and he was recording. And I don't know why he kept his camera recorded. And then she started recording him. And I don't know why he kept his camera out recording, because it wasn't a positive experience. It's not something that I wanted to have, that I'd want to have on my phone, because it was rough. It was rough. There we go. I'm not very familiar with her either. OGB. Oh, you're talking about Sunny. Let's see here, Goddess. Let's see, no questions, Marcus. I just have comments. Got it. She was gonna press charges on him for taking advantage of her. Okay, let's see here. Envy, scroll down. All right, I'm trying. Envy, scroll down. And they got after Kenan discussing things with the daughter, Kenan Sonny docked him. He had to then move. Oh, got it. Well, in that case, you should dox him. You know what I mean? If you feel that way. I don't dox people because I don't have that type of focus. I don't have that type of focus or attention, or even the ability to do so. But in that particular instance, if what he did or reported on was true, then definitely. The only thing that I can say is there's a lot of allegations, and me personally, I like to see strong paperwork. The one thing I did not see is strong paperwork. I don't care about a police report. Police can write up anything they want to write up that they saw. You know what I'm saying? But like a discovery packet, maybe some charges. And at this point, he hasn't been found guilty of any charges at all whatsoever. So at this point, it's the internet. So until there's black and white paperwork, then I guess we got to go from there. And as I said, the only thing that I had to go by was his interaction here yesterday, Octavius, and then looking up the reviews with him and Sonny. And I can't believe, like, content creators, however the hell they got like the phone conversations and all that other shit. I was like, wow, as I was watching and listening to it, it was getting crazy. You know what I'm saying? Let's see. What would you say? Ms. B. Town Hester interviewed Sunny before anyone knew who she was in these sectors. She has since passed, but I believe the live is still up. Oh shit. Let's see here. I'm almost Envy almost to his comment. What the hell? What comment? What is he here or something? Envy must not see him in the chat. I don't. Nope. Shady, let me sit my anxious ass down. And as I said, even if he's in the chat, and I will scroll back up to see, I'm very, very fair. This is a situation where we're trying to figure out what the hell's going on. You know what I'm saying? And as I said, the concession was made last night. Every negative chat or whatever the case may be, I pretty much skipped over it. And as you know, I woke up this morning and the first post I made was, really appreciate you coming through. By popular demand. I don't know what I wrote. By popular demand, people are feeling you last night. Glad you came through. Look to see you soon. And then that's where things started blowing up. Because it was like, oh shit. People were hitting the the comments under there. Let's see. What'd you say? The girl who disappears boyfriend is a content creator who lives in Florida. Yeah, I saw that. I got to find his channel because you could do an interview with him. I already saw it. Would you say dude was in the chat? If you want to clear things up, tell him to hit the panel. It's an open panel. Where's he at in the chat? Where? I don't know how I missed it because I'm actually usually sometimes I mess up on the chat, but I am definitely reading the chat today. I'm scrolling right now. Because if he's in the chat, that's cool. Oh, there he is. Okay. So what's up, host chat and everybody? If you have any questions, I don't mind answering, just FYI. Okay, cool. Honestly, they do have a lot of questions, and I can definitely show you the notifications. I can pull up my notifications bell off of my post, and you can see what the people actually have to say, not just what I'm saying right here, and not just the comments in here. And as I said, you have to realize just a lot of that backlash of the public apology for the way that I treated you on the platform, allegedly, that's where it started. And when I get pissed, I get pissed. That's why I sent that message to you, and you replied or whatever. Or no, I sent that message out before I even knew that anybody had an issue. And still I started reading all my shit. Let's see here. Let's see. Oh, there you go. What's up, Chad and Hoes? Got it. You went right over it. Oh, yeah. You're talking about his comment. Okay, Vibrant, I got it. He's hiding in the clouds now. I mean, he could be. Say he said that he'd be willing to ask any questions. So I don't know how you'd be in the clouds because literally he was an open book last night. Any questions or concerns that anybody had, he definitely he didn't duck the questions. So I do appreciate him for doing that for sure. It's nothing to clear up, Chad. Speaking truth. Jesus. Let's see. You call cops too. All right. I had to see your picture first. I don't want any crazy is coming up. Although Marcus should not have had X with Sonny, he didn't grape her. Yeah. No report filed, no grape, no case. She admitted to lying about it. She was mad Marcus had moved on. Simple. Okay. Well, that's an opposing viewpoint. You know what I'm saying? Like, as I said, like, we're not here definitely to slander Sonny. We're not here to slander him, Octavius, Ken, anybody. But at the same time, like, we do have to bring out, at this point, like something like this, for example, is, that goes along with the situation of me saying, like, that's when I start asking for paperwork. Because me personally doing research, I did not dig up any criminal charges, any jail time, anything like that, other than like the dumbest shit you could think of. As I said, like expired license or something like the most. And it was crazy because a content creator was such clickbait. It was like, Marcus' extensive criminal history. And like what I just told you was his extensive criminal history, which is definitely not extensive criminal history in my book. Don't go for the play, Envy. They did come to your platform. Okay. Yeah, I get it. I'm not real worried about it, to be honest with you. Troll page in effect could be one of the mods, Lil Mama Obama or Vibrant or somebody. Can you click on that? Can you click on that page? Because I'm not really looking close, but can you click on that page to make sure it's him? Wait, did Marcus Run come back? Listen, that's why I said, like, somebody's going to click on there. Somebody's going to verify that it's him. Now, Ghetto, I will say yes, if that is him, because if somebody was sitting here talking about me, especially in regards to some of these allegations, I'd be more than happy to hit the panel because he hasn't been convicted of anything. It's very, very easy to defend yourself when there's no paperwork on you, right? He didn't duck, but he skirted around and basically just overrode, made blanket statements. Yeah. Oh, I see what you're saying, right? He made blanket statements. He did. He made blanket statements like, I've had, a past, and then somebody brought up like, actual addiction, and things like that. And then people were going crazy in the comments when he was talking about like the illicit substances being out in, where did he say? He said the substances out in California are better than the substances in any other state, being party favors. Okay. He lied about it being years ago. Yeah, 2 years ago. He definitely exaggerated when he calls himself being transparent. Okay. Atlanta Street's interview is, oh, my bad, bro. Yeah. Let's see. There you go. Hit the panel. Atlanta Street interviews. Oh. Hit the panel. Atlanta Street interviews. It'd be great if Sonny pulled up. Oh my God. I want to show that video so bad. You know what I'm saying? But again, as I said, I can fair use it, but it's Sonny. This is much more than about Sonny. This stuff is cringe. He exploits the folks who don't go to the cops, the people that most folks don't care about or support. That's what's sad about it. It's him. Oh, okay. So he was in the chat. I'm sure Marcus didn't run. Okay. I didn't think so either. The reason why I didn't think he ran is because he was pretty, open and honest about, I don't know, honest, but he was pretty open about, answering questions last night. It's him. Okay, cool. Cosmic Girl is very much more than Sonny. Oh, okay. Oh, as a matter of fact, the situation with Sonny is light compared to the others. Although in my opinion, he did play on her heart. Yeah, he definitely, yes. That was more of like, that wasn't just like a random hookup at all whatsoever. That was like definitely a relationship. I saw it. And, and I told Ken, I did tell Ken in a text, I was like, dude, I know that this isn't like wonderful information for y'all to pull up on. I get it. You don't want to hear your girl, like, I mean, the tone, I didn't say all this, but the tone was like, I know you don't want to hear about like your girl's past or whatever the case may be. But at this point, I really do think that there needs to be some kind of response, defense, whatever. You said street folks not going to interact with 50. Hey, what's up, L Lace? Always good to see you. I appreciate you. Ghetto, what'd you say? Atlanta Street interview. Heard a lot about you. Looking forward to hearing more about your journey. Not secondhand. Right. Exactly. Okay. I'm sure he didn't run. Okay. Yeah. You said that twice, Cosmic. So obviously you might know him, to a certain extent. But again, let's look a little bit more at how the interaction between him and Octavius was
all about, because I heard of it last year.
And I want to tell you all, Octavius was definitely verbal. He was definitely interacting with the panel, and then I think he was just like, let me just tolerate the fact that this dude is right next to me. I really do. But let's go.
I hadn't really ever tapped in or anything like that, so I just decided to, tap into a couple lives and see what's going on. And, here I am. So
see, a lot of comments were like that. Literally, Kiki and Marcus is a couple now. Like, I got comment after comment after comment after comment about that situation or whatever. But anyway, welcome.
Shout out to
and
you.
The reason I put that on the screen for a reason.
Your name is Envy, is what I'm
Envy.
Yes, okay, cool. I'm Marcus. Yeah. Nice to meet you.
What's up, Marcus? I spend most of my time
Envy,
down
will
at Patchwork.
Marcus to the, I'm sorry, Envy. Will you be inviting Marcus to your council?
At some point, I'm outside. My content is based on me being outside, so I'm outside all the time. If I'm not outside, I'm here editing, getting the content up, and everything else. But even stuff like this is just my downtime type stuff. I'm enjoying y'all's sector. I don't think I wanted to, but here I am enjoying all the mess and all that stuff. Well, we're gonna see what's going on. But I did pop up because I was agreeing with Uppity. Uppity said that I was a creep.
Oh wow. Well, at least he's sarcastic about it. What'd you say, brother? Simple yet, that sounds about right. When you get to certain levels, folks love to make up things or exaggerate stories. Good to hear. Not everybody believes everything, folks. Yeah, and you're right. And I'm trying to give you a fair shake, Atlanta Street interviews, because I'm just a certain content creator. My thing is for the supporters. I look at it as this is not my channel, it's theirs. I'm just the host. So I literally do this to everybody where there's a concern with my supporters. Like whether I agree with you or not, I'm very, very objective. Everybody in here will tell you. not uppity. Yeah, uppity. Yeah, uppity should have got down like, oh my God. Once she started that uppity, I was like, oh my God, how in the hell can I get her out of here faster? You know what I'm saying? Simply Yet, that sounds about right. Oh yeah, you're talking to them. Okay. Let's see. Three sides to every story. Yeah, the truth, the lie, and the truth, a lie, and everything in between. Let's go. Let's go. What's up, Ms. Me?
Well, yeah,
Now,
like I was telling Octavius, since you here, let me just say, we say they were videos. So, like I was telling Octavius, when he found you, I was kind of glad because I've been hearing some stories from the people that you have probably had interviewed. Like for me, your most famous one was the Josiah one because it seemed like a long thing, which you're trying to hook him back on his dad and all the other stuff. But then I started seeing like some of the ladies come on and saying how you took them to the house and they felt like they had to do something with you. And then the other guys were saying how you only gave them like $10 and you were making so much money off of you. So I just thought that I know you always let them get their cash up out, but like
Good
you would give them like
Lord.
$5 or $10. And then the girls saying like what they said. So, that's why, I said those things.
Understandable. A lot of those different stories mixed in with rumors and, some truth and stuff like that has already kind of been, debunked, talked about, revealed, whatever it is. Octavius can tell you there was a whole.
So yesterday, basically, ATL Gale was going back and forth. Marcus was up there. He was looking at the comments. He's like, let me go ahead and address that. And as I said, like I was doing my best last night to be a gracious host. And, obviously when you have a new individual that's on your platform, you don't highlight every negative comment, right? But today I'm just trying to get down to the bottom of things. And as I said, like I'm not, putting any allegations on anybody. And as I said, like due to, we can get popular opinion about it, but at the same time, like I like paperwork. But what'd you say, ATL? You said, Marcus, don't act like that. You don't know what I'm talking about. When that girl you interviewed went missing and could not be found, the streets was talking about you. Okay. So here's your response, I believe. Y'all good. Though I'll be out of pocket for the next couple hours. So if I don't get up soon, I'll have to catch up later. No worries either way. Okay. Those remarks were deleted as they were inappropriate. Okay. Yeah. Absolutely. I appreciate that. Vibrant. So basically, unfortunately, like we only see from this point of view, we only see the StreamYard. I'll pull up my actual live so I can look at the comments because unfortunately StreamYard doesn't let us know like what has been deleted and what's current. So I appreciate that. Any allegations like that, you guys need to hold back a little bit on that, just because basically, as I said, we don't do like solid we make allegations, but we don't push the allegations too far until it's proven. Would you say, Gail, you lose credibility when you push blatant nonsense like that on a man that's more than likely done way more than you ever will for strangers? Right. And some people did actually take a look at that. Some people did, Marcus, to be fair. Some people did say like that you helped the people. It wasn't like 100% of my comment section was trying to blast you, because I did see some positive. I did see some negative. But there's several people in here, obviously, that have strong opinions about it. Right. It's all alleged. It is alleged. You said, Marcus, I doubt that. I feed the homeless and help them find places to live. Okay, let's go.
Whole year's worth of that stuff. Led by none other than Kiki, right? so we went through that already. It's history. You can go check that stuff out if you want to.
And I was like, when he said this, I was literally looking at Octavius, especially when he said, yeah, you can go check that stuff out. Because at this point, like I had, I don't know, however many people in the chat. And I was like, wow, that's going to be interesting. What'd you say? The internet is always going to push negativity and BS. Yeah, I mean, drama sells, negativity sells. You were in sales for a long time with insurance. You understand, out of 10 comments, or out of 10 people, 9 people will give a negative review and only one person will give a compliment. So I totally understand the statistics of the internet and all that. So you said my record is as solid as it gets, and out in the actual streets, I'm loved by the city. The internet is gonna internet.
A lot of that stuff isn't necessarily true, or the way that they say it. As far as the $10 goes, that's just my business model. I don't see why anybody would really be overly concerned with my business model as far as YouTube, because ultimately, you know, it's my money that I'm earning, it's my taxes that I have to pay. It's everything.
No, I totally get that part, but I feel like I get there's a bottom line and you want to make a profit from the things that you do. I don't know anything about your old, and you said she could watch. Got a new subscriber in Christopher Light. With Asada, some peanut Nora.
I'm getting down. Uppity, I need for you to leave.
Get to know him before he watches your.
You know, we had our whole little thing for almost a whole year. Long's kind of came over to just this algorithm. I mean, I don't know, about a couple weeks ago, the algorithm things started coming up in my algorithm. So I just decided to tap into this sector because I had a couple folks that came over to my channel last year that, you know, just kind of, you know, we had our whole little thing for almost a whole year. Long story short, I don't know, like all that stuff has died down, but a couple weeks ago, I started seeing these channels, and I was like, let me see what's going on with this beef sector stuff.
Him, Octavius, and Kiki had a love triangle. Let's go.
There wasn't
see, that was definitely me, like, poking the bear. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to see what the reaction was going to be. All right.
This beef sector
and again, I know people get sensitive. This isn't against anybody. This is just I asked that to see what the damn reaction was, because I saw the comments over and over and over again. Him and Kiki, Octavius, him and Kiki, Octavius. I just didn't know about the Sunny part, but let's go.
A couple weeks ago, I started seeing these channels, and I was like, let me see what's going on with this beef sector stuff.
Him, Octavius, and Kiki had a love triangle. Let's go.
There wasn't a love triangle.
What?
Okay.
Let's jump right into that. That's what Lemon wants to know.
No, I didn't know. I don't know. I don't know.
Lemon caught a stray. Don't put that on Lemon at all. Like, that could have been John Doe or whatever. I was just talking shit. Or that could have been West. Lemon has nothing to do with anything. That was just me, like, talking shit, and he caught a stray. All right, so let's just make that clear. Let's go. It's Atlanta. He does interviews in Atlanta.
Oh, this is the Atlanta street interviewer guy.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. So hold on. I don't know, Octavius. That's not why.
What should do tonight is interrupt, but go ahead.
I'm kind of like a YouTube nerd in that regard. But the long and short of it is that right now my videos average about 10 to 20,000 views per video, which, you know, is on the lower end of kind of historically where it was, but right about where it was, right? About 10 to 20,000. Even if you go back 3 years ago, we're all black people, we're all sitting here, you know, on this app or whatever, and trying to figure out how to, you know, make the most money on it, which I believe is what most people's goal is. Then we got to be able to share information. You know, I was in a master.
Marcus, I understand the marketing.
I didn't know Josiah was in jail, and I wasn't attracted to his light eye.
Questions like that is because basically I don't want to sound biased. So if I say, oh, I hear that you're a good guy, whatever, I'm looking at the chat. So it was good that you cleared that up. You know what I'm saying? That's how I am a good guy, is because
a regular guy, ultimate good guy, or anything like that. Like, that's not me. I'm Marcus. I'm a regular guy. I have my flaws, but my good massively outweighs any flaws or anything that people may be put off by. $1,000. Okay, that was the very minimum that you would get there. Past. So, my past is a part of my ultimate testimony, right? And I'm, you know, perfectly fine with detailing this or that or the third from the things I've done. Again, most of that stuff you're talking about situations 2022 and some in 2023. So you're talking about years ago. I don't run from it. So, you know, y'all can go back and forth.
He is correct about that. A lot of the things I did see, which was, I mean, it was old, but it did I would say it went up to about 2024. I would say a year ago, and the most recent would be 6 months. But a lot of the stuff was definitely, I'd say, about a year and a half ago. But at the same time, like it's brewing because of the situation. Now, you guys all saw Octavius. At this point, he didn't say a damn thing. He was like, as I said, I think he was tolerating the situation at that point, which, that's what any dude would do. He didn't say 2 words because he was just like, I don't know. I think he came up to the panel to see like what kind of feeling he would get, and respectfully, dismissed himself.
Stuff. I don't mind people talk. Trust me, I get tons of people talking about me, so I've got alligator skin when it comes to that. But I did want to address them because I see them going back and forth in the comments, and so you don't have to go back.
Hey, Jazzy, I didn't get a chance to look at everything just because, like, as I said, like it literally came to my attention. You had this guy on there, we want you to look at this, we want you to look at that. That literally came to my attention like a few hours ago.
And forth, like anything that you want to say, you can hit the link, come up, ask me, talk to me, curse me out, tell me I ain't shit, whatever. It's all love because ultimately I'm still gonna address you in the same kind of manner and vein.
What's up with it? What's happening? All right. What's happening? What up, landlord?
Empress Milan, if you're confused at all whatsoever, it's individual Atlanta Street interviews that came up on the panel last night, and a lot of people got in my comment section and said some things. And I got comment, and then I went and did my research just to see like what they were talking about, and I'm basically coming back to present what I'm letting people see kind of the interaction that he had last night, because I don't want to just sit here and talk about what I saw, what I found, receipts or not receipts, whether I agree or disagree. So I'm trying to bring people up to speed. So hopefully, Empress Mellon, I can do that for you.
I got a question for Marcus.
What's up?
What's going on, brother?
So when you do your show, is it just independently you, or is it like a team behind you? Like it's you and the team?
One man band.
Okay, so you just do it solo dolo.
So solo dolo. I'm the
photographer, the editor, the interviewer, the host, the business manager. The interviewer.
And at that point, honestly, if we were having an open panel about the situation, I would have let landlord get his shit off. But at this point, like I was trying to let the conversation flow. I was trying to let the content flow because I knew absolutely nothing. What did you guys say? You said right, Gail. What'd you say? Definitely not a regular guy. Okay, I get it. And then psychology ears too. Got it. What'd you say? He's so self-absorbed. He really thinks he's responsibility. You guys are arguing. I'm not gonna highlight all the arguments. He seems to have a cool personality, mature even. Yeah, that's how we got along with him. Ghetto, we got along with him really, really well. Like we all had a good time. It was a great experience. That's why I was like, hold on, why am I getting these comments? Because it was very, it shocked me. It shocked me because obviously if he brought a bad vibe to the panel, I would have got him out. You know me, you know how fast I drop people. But I want you guys to see landlord come up. And my thing was, I thought this was random. So I was like, landlord, we're not going to attack a guest. You got to go. But he came up hot, and I wish instead of like talking shit to me personally in the comments, I wish he would have given us a little bit more context why he felt that way, because I get it. Okay, let's see landlord come up here. He's on 10. Hold on.
Host the man band, just in the same kind of manner and vein.
What's up with it? What's happening? All right. What's happening? What up, landlord? I got a question for Marcus.
What's up? What's going on, brother?
So when you do your show,
one man band, photographer, the editor, Facebook page where snatch off 50-something thousand. The contract ended with the comp 50 with whoever's managing that page.
What's up, y'all? Hey, can I ask a question real quick?
Yeah, sure. But just to finish, that's the only form of like a team that I had. So, but sure, go ahead, man.
So, I mean, I know you're not an influencer, but you don't think you're an exploiter?
I don't believe so.
You don't think so?
No.
Why would you not think so?
Well, I've explained. I've been up here for about $20 for I can
$10.
recap it.
Well, I'm just joining in. I just want to ask a question.
No doubt. No problem. No problem. I can recap it. So,
damn, Jazzy, I don't know. Like I'm getting through it and stuff. I know y'all aren't arguing. I'm trying to get through it. Let's go.
The long and short of it is that many people have benefited in so many ways from my platform. One of my most, I guess, notable. I'm sorry.
You're an explorer.
Well, do you want me to answer it? Or,
right. Come on, landlord. You can't ask a nigga to answer the question.
Okay. Go ahead.
Like, landlord, I was hesitant about letting you up here. You gotta let it flow, landlord. Plus, your audio is garbage. But go ahead.
Right. So for instance, right, one of my most notable, kind of accomplishments, right, is a kid named Jaden. He's in college.
Okay, so he's going to talk about Jaden. Okay, so I think this is where I got a lot of my, my comments from. If you watch his body language, when he asks uncomfortable questions, he'll hit with something on the table or look off or whatever. He good looking and charismatic. I get it. Meaning I get it. That's what people were saying. Because when folks jumped up on the platform, they want to do like the speed dating and whatnot. I know that I kind of pushed that, but yeah, that's kind of the feeling we got from the ladies, and it's how he lands his interviews with folks who are starving for attention. It makes him a master creep stuff. Okay, hey B Sector. Let's see what you say. Hello, NV panelist. Cool. All right. So basically, this is him going into Josiah, right?
He's in college solely because his sister. I ran into his sister in the park. His twin sister. They were homeless. They were 18 at the time. They had been pretty much abused their whole life. Their foster parents on their 18th birthday woke them up 5 a.m. said, "Pack your bags. We're taking you to a shelter in Atlanta," and they were in Chicago. So they drove them 14 hours from Chicago to Atlanta, dropped them off at the shelter, and said bye. Okay, and the female twin, her name is Jemiah.
What's up, Don?
She was autistic. So when I ran into her in the park, she was out there getting bullied. Somebody had just pushed her down and took her food. So we ended up doing an interview. It was a tear, it went viral. It went viral on Instagram, TikTok, everywhere. And one of the people that saw it is a mega church pastor here in Atlanta. And he offered both the twins a full scholarship to Morris Brown College. And so Jemiah, she's got some mental things going on and stuff like that. So, but in addition to that, their biological family, which they had no clue who they were, seen them on my channel, got in touch with me, and we got them.
Now, I'm not going to say a name, but you said mega pastors. Yeah, you said mega pastors. I'm not going to say a name, but I want to know if he was wrapped up with the individual that had, how do I say this? Was he wrapped up with the individual that actually had cases against him? We had a pastor. I mean, it's public information. We had a mega pastor in Atlanta that had allegations against him with boys. We'll just say that. All right. So I wanted to see if that was related.
Back up there to meet their actual biological family. Right. So these are things, and I've got tons of stories that are similar. But again, these are things that happen simply because a guy in Atlanta is walking around and interviewing people. And do I know like exactly what's going to happen from each interview and stuff like that? No. But I
always like it when B sector sextorians are in here, because they'll definitely take good notes and let me know if I'm off base. Let's go.
Tell you that way more good happens than anything else. And even when things don't go viral.
Right, RNY. I didn't want to say Eddie Long, but since you put it in the comments, yeah, Eddie Long. Or I was thinking Cleflo Dollar. I'm not quite sure, but Eddie Long is one that got into his situation. Cleflo Dollar gets more into the financial problems. because he's got an ATM when you walk in his church. It kind of looks bad. But yeah, Eddie Long most definitely got convicted of those types of interactions with boys.
Right. I'll give you a quick one. About 2 months, maybe 3 or 4 months ago now, I posted a video. A lady sent me an email. This happens all the time. People email me. They're like, hey, my family member is there in Atlanta. We can't find him. If you happen to come across him, this is the picture what he looks like. Please let us know this, and that, and the third, right? So I made a video out of one of the emails, right, where a lady emailed me. She sent me the picture. Not even 24 hours.
Yeah, no, I know he's been gone for a while. I was just, I don't know the timeline. Like, honestly, you guys know the story way better than I do. So I'm just kind of going through it because, as I said, like, any content that comes in, I know the YouTube streets are probably not going to eat this up because it's not specifically about, certain individuals in the circle, but at the same time, I have to bring this here, figure it out, break it down, and let it go out to YouTube streets. The best I can do to let it go out to YouTube streets now is reaching out to people saying that, this individual's here. Everybody pretty much knows I'm live right now. So if they're in the clouds or whatever the case may be, if they're uncomfortable with coming up, I understand. Trust me. I'll do my best without people to try to bring some light to the situation. I'll try my best. But it would be great if certain people were around. Drop from the clouds, because we need the whole content. Because if we get the whole story out here, then we can, probably put some things to rest. But anyway, let's go.
Later. And we're talking about a video that did less than my average, which is about 10,000 views, right? This video may have did like 8,000 views or something like that. But guess what? One of the 8,000 people that viewed it was someone that had just seen the guy like an hour before that. And so they called the number that was on the flyer. And within a few hours, before 24 hours was up, that kid and that family was reunited. It wasn't a kid, it was a 25-year-old guy, but he was having mental issues. Yeah. And they couldn't find him because the mental place that he was at, they just dropped him off somewhere in the middle of Atlanta. They couldn't tell him where he was at or anything. And these people were from out of town.
MGO, glad to see you.
And so they contacted me. And they didn't, they contacted the police. They contacted all these other agencies. But guess what it was that ended up helping them find their family member?
Jamal was not a pastor there, R&Y.
Content. It was my platform. The fact that I just put it out there.
That's dope. That's dope.
I heard you mention God before. Do you believe that your work is connected to God?
100%. That's the only way, little girl. And the video did okay numbers, but one of the guys that saw it hit me up and he was like, hey, that kid that's in the background, that's my daughter. And I've never actually seen her in person. And so I was like, what? So he told me the story, told me like, hey, the woman, we had situation in Texas 12 years ago. When she had the kid, she pretty much dipped out and she's been dodging me ever since. So every time I've had private investigators, I've had all type of stuff to where we are almost there to where she's at, and then she moves. So she skips from town to town, and turns out the kid hadn't been in school in 3 years. The mom was out there hoeing. So, this is an impressionable young lady at this point. She's picking up on all these vibes of what her mom is doing and everything else. So, I feel bad. I'm a girl dad. I've got 2 daughters, and I would,
Hey, MGO, by any chance, do you know what the outcome was at? I mean, what the outcome of that was? Did he graduate? Did anybody do like a follow-up on that kid's career? I just want to know. Just curious.
Better to think of what my girls would be like if I wasn't in their life. So he explained what the situation was. So I was like, well, come on to Atlanta. Let's figure this thing out. Long story short, him, his 2 parents, and his other daughter got in the car, drove all the way from Dallas to Atlanta. I had to kind of fake it with the mom and put her up in a hotel a week. so that she wouldn't dip out, because she'll skip time whenever.
Yep.
So I put her up in a hotel for a week because it was going to take him a week to take off of his government job that he had. He had a government job, and so he had to actually put in for time off and stuff like that. They drove 12 hours to Atlanta. I got up with the mom like I was about to do an interview, and so I started this interview, but it was kind of a fake interview. And the dad was over there kind of off to the side, and he was wearing a mask, right? Because it was like right after COVID, so it was still kind of people would still wear masks. So he had a mask on and a hat, so she couldn't really see who he was. She hadn't seen him in a decade. He had never met his daughter in person. So we started the interview and we set it up.
Oh, wow. That's really cool. I'm glad to hear that, because it'll definitely inspire other people to do the same, because I hate it when people say, oh, somebody went for a handout or somebody went for a offhanded opportunity or whatever. So, hopefully that type of situation continues. But anyway, let's go.
To where I would do like a little signal with my hat when it was time for him to walk up. So about 5 minutes into the interview, I did the signal. He walked up. She was like, kind of like, who is this guy walking up or whatever?
With that question, we almost asked last night, but I'll be quite honest with you, Cosmic Girl. I was a little bit confused at that point. So typically I ask pretty good questions, but at that point I was just trying to sort things out. Because as I said, like, this was a new individual on my platform. I wanted to treat him right, but the comments were just eating him alive. I was like, all right, let me try to, keep this calm, keep it cool, collected. That's why I did like the little speed dating, so that we would laugh or, whatever the situation is. But let's go.
And so he was like, I'm your dad. I'm the father of your child. And the way her jaw hit the ground, because she was talking about him in the interview as though he was this deadbeat and he didn't want to be in his daughter's life and, just all this stuff, right? But when he talked to me, he was like, I never have had the chance. Like, every time I even try to get close, she dips out. So, I mean, it was just a moment that I'll never forget, because she was just
as I always will, Diva. I don't really, the criticism or whatever, I take it with a grain of salt. But, sometimes the criticism and all that is a blessing, because it caused me to get, it caused me to get upset enough to look at my comments, which my comments were on my side, and these comments are on my side. So obviously I looked into the situation. And you know what it's like to be a content creator / reporter, whatever they want to call us. You got to get all sides of the story and get down to the bottom of it. I'm not here to sway anybody or anything like that. I'm here to present the information. Just because it happened here, again, Diva, I owe my supporters the right to hear all sides. What'd you say, MGO? You said another former interviewee of Marcus ATA Vaughn has relocated to Texas, is doing well. He has his own place, a townhome in a nice part of town, a car, and his sole custody of his twins. See, MGO, that's why I did get comments like that. There was a lot of comments that were talking about like the good that he's done. Some of the people, some of the lives that he changed. So that's why I was like really, really confused, because, if a couple of people in the comments are always going to eat you up, but at the same time, MGO, thank you for providing that information, because, I don't want this to just be like negative. I definitely want to, balance it out and see if there is some positive that comes out of it. See who's here, see who's not, whatever, right? So Street in Scotland, what's up, man? I appreciate you being here as always. All right, what'd you say? Envy didn't know that, man. He didn't know Mark, not at all. I thought a dude pulled up to my platform. That was it. Yeah, I didn't know it all whatsoever, because if Envy would have known who he was, respectfully, I would have asked him more questions. Let's see. All right, go ahead. All right. So why are you taking this toxic gossip route, Envy? This was an opportunity to network with a content creator that has over 1 million views. I get it. He has 250,000 subscribers. So I don't understand. It's not toxic gossip. It's something that my supporters asked me to look into. So am I going to network with an individual that has 250,000 subscribers over making sure that my supporters who have been with me for 4, 5, 6, years, up to a month, 2 months. I don't know, but I would rather keep my supporters than networking with an individual. Now, this doesn't necessarily mean that I'm not going to network with the individual. This just means I'm trying to get down to the bottom of it. Have you heard me say anything unequivocally that's negative? Absolutely not. You know what I'm saying? I actually said good things. I actually said controversial things. I didn't say anything bad about this man. This doesn't stop a networking opportunity. Um, hey, great. Uppity, there you go. What's up, Uppity? All people are a combination of their good and bad deeds. Absolutely. I'm not perfect. And I was going to say that last night to him. I was going to say, I'm not perfect. You're not perfect. None of us are perfect. So let's keep going. For now, oh God, stop it. Like Uppity, I did have you on the docket, but like all those things that you brought up about Ness, I looked at the dates. They're like 2022, 2023. I don't know why you're pulling up apartments and stuff that Ness lived in years and years ago, but hey, I guess do you. Let's see here. All the people are commenting. And my thing is obviously it's business. If I'm going to network with somebody, obviously I'm going to network with somebody. Marcus got back to me just like that and said that he had a great experience and he'll be back. Obviously you saw him in the chat today. So if he, if he takes heed to the fact that I have to see both sides, he'll understand. If you got 250,000 subscribers, you understand the responsibility you have to your subscribers, especially your supporters. Subscribers and supporters are different. Yeah, exactly, Cosmic Girl. This isn't networking or gossip. Gossip would be me picking up the phone and talk behind the scenes about this man. I'm right here, and and the link is pinned. So I definitely can't do that. We have seen the interviews, right? Okay. I guess integrity is nothing. Right. I guess integrity is nothing, right? Yeah, network with a person and shit on all my supporters, or get down to the bottom of things and keep my supporters. I'd rather keep my supporters. Okay. At all costs. Market has certainly made some questionable decisions in the past, yes, but I think he had made sincere effort to change for the better, and both positive and negative should be acknowledged. Absolutely, MGO, and I'm trying to do my absolute best. I'm trying to do my absolute best. This show is definitely not intended to, defame him, slander him, whatever. It actually could be an opportunity to abolish some of these negative things, because you type in his name, you see content creator, negative, 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 negative. If more comments come in like MGO's presenting, that debunk some ATL Gale's comments or whatever the case may be, we might walk out of here saying that the gentleman has changed. He's off to a good start. He's gotten people to graduate, because I didn't know that the scholarship that he got. So that's a positive thing, right? I'm not just sitting here bashing the man, it's nothing burger, old gossip. Okay, but see, here's the thing. When people say it's old gossip, it's only old gossip to the people that heard it. But what you got to understand is the internet is a big place. YouTube gets 2 billion views a day, and there's a lot of people that don't know this at all whatsoever. Behind his troll pages. Yeah. Test failed, or okay, great. Great. So I don't care, honestly. Yes, Uppity, you were absolutely right. Okay. In comparison to the history and backgrounds of people of the Mo3 and beef sector, along with an extremely toxic content here, there's no room to judge. Okay. Well, do you know anything about me, or do you know anything about me personally, or do you just group me into a sector? Just wondering. Because yeah. Do you know anything about me personally, or am I just Mo3 sector and beef sector? I don't know. This man is a real creepy predator. Okay. MGO said, I consider myself a generally neutral person. Happy to provide any input if helpful. I've been subscribed to Atlanta Street Interviews since 2022. Most of us in the street sector know his work well. Okay, cool. I appreciate it. And thanks for sharing too, because, that's basically firsthand information. You've been around the individual longer than I have. And, I obviously see PH Diva. So clearly you have some wherewithal to, speak truths and be unbiased. So I really do appreciate it. You said you got to realize the education level of some of the folks you're dealing with, Envy, especially on YouTube. I definitely do, for sure. You said, hey, Envy, what about the subscribers of Marcus who would know more of his character? What about all the good he has done? I'm trying to put that out there. You know what I'm saying? I haven't said anything slanderness or slander or anything against him. I would take all those comments. Definitely, I would take all of those comments if I was sitting here bashing the man. I am not. What up, Funky Junkie? Good to see you. Let's see here. MGO, what else did you say? I just joined the stream, so I don't know anything about ATO Gail's remarks. I'm assuming she discussed concerns about Marcus regarding his interactions with past interviewees. Yes, she did. She did. And here's the thing. I don't take anything away from ATO Gail. She's one of the reasons why I did look into it. But some people, if they feel negative about somebody, it's gonna take a lot to change their minds. So MGO, I'm sure that a lot of people can't present to you personally that Marcus is a bad guy, and then on the other side of the coin with ATL Gale, I'm sure that a lot of people can't convince her that he's a good guy. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just trying to listen to everybody on the same. What's up, Diving? Good to see you. Let's see, what'd you say? A gender neutral continue. I think Marcus is okay, cool. Wasn't even my test. Okay, great. Well, Tome, shout out to them. Let's see, Pam, thank you. Okay, you guys are talking to. I totally agree with MGO because I have been there for 3 years. See, as I said, like, I always point out when there's a testy situation and there's positive comments because everybody deserves a fair shake. You know what I'm saying? Test this, test whatever. Diva, I have wherewithal. I I got it. Trust me. I don't need tests. I'll be just fine. I took enough in school. So MGO, everyone is entitled to their opinion. I just think it's wise to consider all contexts. I have seen both good and bad. I have too. MGO, yes. I did mention, some of the videos, like when the woman did take out her phone or whatever, and me reaching out to content creators, like actual content creators that have dealt with him one-on-one, like in real situations in real life, not ghosts on the internet. Let's see. Well, he sure has expounded some bad qualities, right? A lot of people think that, but Funky Junkie, honestly, to be fair, as we were saying earlier, out of 10 people, 9 people are going to tell you something negative, and then one person is going to take the time to say something positive. Okay. The subscribers is nothing. Can you go to the bank and ask how much they can give you for 1 million subscribers? You know what, Pam? Subscriber count on YouTube is irrelevant, to be honest with you. You'll see people with millions and millions of views. Like, I saw a certain individual tag somebody with 1.5 million views, that gets 1,700 views on his videos. But let's see here. So some people worship him and think he can do no wrong, which is false. Others view him as some sort of irredeemable demon, which is also false. People are people. MGO, the good thing is like the way that I deal with people, especially if they're new, if they give me like a bad vibe, a bad feeling, don't really interact with the crowd right, my comments aren't feeling them or whatever, typically I would just say holla at you. But being unbiased, he did give a good energy, and I know that people wanted him to stay because trust me, like somebody would have came out to a platform to disrupt something, or somebody in the comments would have went crazy, or the trolls would have been in here acting a fool. Trust me. I would have sent him off a long time ago if he wasn't interacting with the crowd with a good. You have to discern him and grasp on the facts and unquestioned envy will learn. Take your time with him. Okay, yeah. Sure. I live in Atlanta and pass Marcus in the streets every day. I have also watched his channel since he started. Everything he does is money motivated. Okay. Well, I mean, as I said, there's positive and negative. Maybe there's some good there, but we will watch him for years. Okay.
Shocked. And he like confronted her. and she didn't like know what to say. She like completely backpedaled on all the stuff, all the junk she was talking about him. And he was like, went over there. He was like, forget all this. He went over there, met his daughter. It was a crazy moment.
And Diva, even though you're highly disrespectful and I'm not happy with you at all whatsoever, you definitely are one of the reasons why I looked into it, because I like to prove people right or wrong. So anyway, moving forward.
The grandparents met the granddaughter for the first time. These are just hardworking people in Texas, blue collar folks. He came from a 2-parent household. The parents were still married in their 60s. And so it was just this amazing moment. She got to meet her sister, who was older than her. And it turns out, because again, the mom was unstable. The kid hadn't been in school in 3 years, since the 3rd grade. So they ended up convincing the mom after, at first she was really mad at me. She was.
And Pam, like I said earlier, I stopped that video. Like I did go look at it for a minute, and it got a little bit too, it got a little bit too involved. Not involved in a crazy way, but just for me, I'm kind of sensitive to certain things. So I, just kind of swayed against it. And looked at things that really were relevant to us, which would be like, certain scenarios, that yes, the gossip part is definitely the Octavius, Kiki, Ken Nola, and all the other bullshit. Yes, that's the gossip part for sure. But here we are. That video with, okay, yeah, I just saw that. Yeah, you're extremely disrespectful, Diva. It's ridiculous. I have to go. He is home. All right, MGO. I do appreciate you being here. I'll see you next time. All right, ATL Gail, what do you got? It's my opinion a lot. Okay. Junkie, so why is he around? I'm totally lost. I thought this dude was sleeping with crackheads. Yeah, Lady Snoop, it is definitely, yeah, it's people have a lot of different opinions. They were saying that the reason why they said that, Lady Snoop, is because, like, how he said he's transparent, right? He was talking about interacting with people that have those issues. But I think, like, obviously if you're interviewing homeless people, I don't think that he's out there having sex with crackheads or smoking crack or whatever the case may be. I haven't found anything on it, but typically when you go into the homeless environment, we know what's involved in there. Yeah, I definitely call you disrespectful, but I don't have time to explain it to you. It's not even worth explaining it to you, to be honest. You just move, you go right, I'll go left. There's nothing to talk about. Yeah, it is definitely a mess. Let's see. Lady Soup, yep, he popped up over here with Uppity and Just Krista. All right, let's go.
Cursing me out, like, oh my God, all this stuff. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna back off. I'm gonna let y'all do this moment. And his name was Montre. Montre, you just call me and let me know how everything works out. Well, halfway on my way back to the house, he called me. He was like, man, Marcus, we basically talked to Tony. That was the mom's name. We talked to Tony. We convinced her to allow the daughter to come home with us back to Texas so she could have a stable life. She could get in school. She
type that in capital letters, Diva. It'll mean more.
Doesn't have to go town to town, hotel to hotel. And so he called me. He was like, Marcus, I just want to tell you, you're literally my brother for life. There's nothing that nobody can tell me about you. There's nothing I would never do for you. Whenever you're out in Dallas, whenever you're in Texas, let me know. I'm pulling up. I don't care how far away you are. Like, you have brought my daughter into my life. And I've been trying to get this girl in my life for a decade.
I wouldn't blast things across my community wall without having, you type and type and type and type. Would you do this? Would you do that? Would you do this? Would you do that? Yeah, you don't tear people down just because you disagree with them, Diva. I wouldn't do it. So I think that's bullshit, and I think it's weak as fuck. Especially coming up here and hollering and apologizing and addressing me about how I handle the platform. It's just, yeah. It's just uncouth.
And the only reason why that happened was because of you. And because you walked up to Tony, asked her to do an interview. The daughter happened to be in the background, and everything else happened. And so it's stories like that that make the hair on my arms stand up because I'm impacted.
Nope. Uppity was not here even an hour. But anyway,
in people's lives in such a meaningful way that is so random. Like you talk about, it can only be God. It's not like the video got 1 million views and half of America watched it. You're talking about a video got 20,000 views. Okay, there's millions of people in Texas alone.
Hey, Funky Junkie, sorry about that. Sorry about the red ball thing. That's kind of a habit to turn off the red ball, but typically I leave it on. But we won't be on here long because we're going to teleport over to Lemons, but because there's not much to cover, especially if Sonny and Ken aren't here, because that's, I dead content. If I talk about, so you guys know how I do. If I talk about something and it's the content, whatever we come up with, the majority, that's where we stand. Like, how many times I've done this when, my supporters have been like, I never want to see that person again. I'm not talking about Marcus, but I'm just talking about in general, where we kind of come up with like a collective thought on how we're going to deal with the situation. And then once we come up with that collective thought, I'm not going to drag on the content. I'll probably never talk about Marcus again. It's, until he comes to a platform or bumps into me in Atlanta or whatever the situation may be. Let's go.
Oh, so he just happened to be one of the small number of people that watched the video and just randomly saw his child.
I'm an outsider too. I'm a nomad. So anyway,
in the background.
Oh, wow.
Do you ever do follow-ups on people?
That's a whole lot. I was just going to ask if you reconvene with people along the way. Funky Junkie, I get it. That just means we're redirecting. I mean, you don't have to, it just means that I'm going to redirect. This is kind of like a Before Lemon show, just because this content came to my attention. So I want to go ahead and cover it because I don't even really like it, to be honest with you. The reason why I don't like it is because, number one, it's, I don't know. It's kind of like what happened. I'm confused. I'm only like a day into my research, whatever the case may be. And then two, I don't like to, paint somebody in a negative light, but it was so negative across my comments and stuff. So even for him, not just for the supporters, even for him, if he did read all those comments, like I'm sure he did, because the first thing I did was thank him for coming by. So every time there's a comment, he's going to get a notification. Oh, another comment, another comment, another comment, so if I ignored the supporters on one end, that would suck. But also if I didn't give him a fair shake to ask the people who are actually for him and against him that he saw my comments, then he would never trust me again to come back to my channel or to talk to me ever again. If somebody didn't address a bunch of negative comments about me on their wall, that'd be a problem. But anyway, let's go.
100% do follow-ups. I let them come as they come, though.
Good.
I don't chase people down to do follow-ups or anything like that. But if they come to me, they're like, man, I got to tell you what the update is and everything else. I've got a guy right now on my channel that had a viral video because, well, I'll tell you the reason why his video went viral, because he was a
Malik, just a little bit different content that we're used to, Malik. Some stuff that I had to bring up.
He was in his addiction in crack at the time, and he had patches in his hair and stuff like that. He's an otherwise like handsome guy, whatever. But the reason why his video went viral because his brother is a club owner of a kind of famous club here in Atlanta. And the real reason why his video went viral because he admitted in the video to doing this video series, this we'll say corn video series called Thug Bait. And where I guess, they get random sometimes with that stuff. And a lot of times it tends to be the videos that they know are going to do better than average, So like,
I agree with you.
I agree with you. Pretty good views. They're like, yellow, give us all the money.
I agree.
Yeah, you get 20%. Plus tax. It's crazy.
How many prescriptions do you have, if you don't mind?
How many what?
Prescriptions you have.
How many? Oh, subscribers?
Yes.
Well, it's I think it's just crossed over like 225,000.
See things differently all the time. That's human nature.
How your show went, but let me ask you about travel. Like you didn't. So basically, I closed out the whole situation in a way where we're just having normal conversation, just kicking it back, doing our thing or whatever. And then as soon as I think I only got like about 3 more minutes of this, and then I'll come out here and talk to you about everything. Obviously, as I said, there was another, video that we were going to take a look at, but out of respect, I know I said this 100,000 times, but out of respect for Octavius, Sonny, Kiki, and Ken Nola, I'm not going to, bring that up as a visual aid if it's not blessed. All right, let's go. Arizona, you mentioned the West Coast, East Coast, whatnot. How do you decide where you're headed?
I don't travel to work, right? I travel for another reason and I end up working.
Mm-hmm.
So for instance, I forgot to mention Houston. That's one of my favorite cities too. So I used to go out with my workout buddies every year to this like workout event or whatever in Houston. It used to be in April every year. I didn't go this year, but the past few years I've gone. And every year that I go out there. I used to link up with my boy who had a similar channel. Shout out.
I hear exactly what you're saying. I get it. And I respect all of your comments. But unfortunately, what happens behind the scene, or what happens to content creators when they go behind the scenes, even with the best intentions, it's like, okay, well, you're only telling us this much in front of the scenes, so we don't believe you because you guys have done this, and this behind the scenes. So literally, I would rather be wrong on a public platform than right behind the scenes. That's just me. That's the risk that I take because trust me, like most of the drama, most of the bullshit, most of the nonsense content or whatnot, most definitely came from people going behind the scenes. And I don't want to be that guy. I'd rather be wrong. That's what I said also when I prefaced the video. I said, this isn't to slander anybody. This is just to, get down to the bottom of some things. That's all. So I want to be able to say I haven't gone behind the scenes with any of these individuals. I see what you're saying. So Sister Funny, gets on Envy Nerve or what? But I could tell. Wait, you could tell she gets on Envy Nerve every time she want to say something. And he would cut her off. Oh, you're talking about yeah. Well, there's a reason for that. I mean, I don't know why she jumped on the platform all of a sudden, but instead of the typical approach to these sectors to jump on T. I get it. You can look at it as content, I guess. Are you interested in business or networking with this man? Basically, here's the thing, Funky Junkie. Here's what I said last night. I did put out Apache Cafe. I did put out Patchwork. I did put out, a couple different places, Magic City Mondays and whatnot. So we did talk about that in front of the scenes. And as I said, like I can't be like even let's just say behind the scenes. Let's say we go for cigars, right? And we're smoking those cigars, whatever the case may be, and we talk about all of these issues. And he gives me his side of the story and says, hey, hey, this is this and that, and I agree with him, and we clear the air. That's a man-to-man thing, definitely. And just because I'm doing this publicly right now, like I'm reachable, it's pretty easy. You know what I'm saying? And the thing is if I rock with like all the parties involved, I don't want to go behind the scenes with one of them individually. Because imagine me talking to Sonny individually. Then imagine me talking to Ken. And imagine me talking to Octavius. Imagine me talking to him. Imagine me talking to the ladies that were involved in situations. I'd much rather like the ladies, the content creators that do have something to say about him. I'm not going to call them behind the scenes. The only thing I'd call them behind the scenes is to figure out what time they're going to come here. You guys are going to see everything in front of the scenes right here unfold. Okay. That's the best I can do. Did this man visit your page last night? Not you to his page. That's correct. Yes. That's why we're having this. If I was on his page, we wouldn't be talking about this at all. What's up? Why are you playing this again? Because I want to. You wouldn't get nothing but lies out of the person. You know what? ATL Gale. See, I mean, everybody's gonna have their opinions or whatnot. As I said, like behind the scenes. I gave you an example. We're sitting down smoking cigars. He says some stuff to me, and we chop it up. We're cool. Now, you know what would happen? Okay, here's what would happen in the media world. Let's say him and I did chop it up, and I came back here and I'm like, nah, he's like a really good down to earth guy, this and that, whatever. You know what y'all would say to me? Just you know what you guys would say to me? You all would say, well, when's the last time you talked to him? And then I'd have to tell you, well, last Saturday or whatever, last Friday. You'd be like, well, what'd you guys do? Oh, we went to a cigar bar. Okay, so you're having drinks, smoking cigars, and it was man to man, and you come back and now you're telling us? People wouldn't see it as genuine at all whatsoever. Not at all whatsoever, period. Let's see. A majority of his interviews always turn. That's great. Well, see, the thing is, Pam, here's the thing. Listen, I'm not going to necessarily say that. I'm not going to say that it turns that way. The reason why people feel like that is here's what people are going to do with their attention span on YouTube. They're going to scroll just like me. I scrolled. I'm not going to sit and watch everybody's video or all their videos when I, do my research. When I get enough, I get enough. And as they scroll, they're going to see certain situation that they're definitely, it's going to kind of underscore what their feelings are. Now, just how we'll just say this, the body language of the women that he interviews, people would be like, well, I don't want to listen to it. Now, it's not that every woman does certain body language when they're around them, but there's enough out there you'd be like, why is she acting like that? Why is she doing this? She's just doing an interview. I'm not going to get specific because obviously you know what his channel is. You can go see for yourself. Obviously, I'm not here to state a case against somebody's character, right? In your opinion. Okay. Yeah, I mean, Pam, that's what I'm saying. Like visually, not listening to interviews of like, why is that girl jumping up and down and doing jumping jacks and this and that, whatever. Yeah, I just wanted to be able to lay out like from my point of view what I saw, and then have people take it in. Let's see here. Jesus Christ. All right. Well, let's see here. What else do I have? What else do I have on the docket? What did I write here? I said too much. Let's wake up. Let's see. All right. So that's enough on that, right? For now, unless there's like any questions or whatever. You said we were just saying how funny you are. As long as she gets a new mic, just get a new mic or do what you gotta do. Get some AirPods, not the things with a cord on it. Let's see here. What else do we have? As I said, I had less important things on the docket, of course, like that uppity thing. I'm sure like you saw her in the chat, like uppity's doing this big exposure, but I don't know. It looks like it's 2022. So I don't know what kind of exposure that is, but hey, uppity, rock out. I don't know how far it's gonna go, but seems like you're, getting your shit off, kind of like just Krista Turner did to her crazy self as she's been for the last little bit. Right now, I'm just damn man, start your live. What are you doing here, sir? He's never on time. Let's see. Oh, fucking junkie, thank you. Oh, because they said that you're funny or whatever. Okay. And what else? Let's see here. Oh, I said wake things up for Lemons Live. So basically, you know how people have. Okay, so for example, like Donald Goines had like a wrench sweep. Now I know that sometimes we hear at Lemons that they're Discord and all these other storylines that we've heard or whatever. But you know, I've seen in the chat, I've seen like publicly, whether it be like in his notifications or in his comments or super chats and stuff that, you know, brought to his attention. I have seen some various viewpoints, and just kind of listening to him for the last, you know, couple shows or whatnot, it seems like he's at a, you know, all-time high of being irritated, and not like the normal irritation that he goes through, like, you know what, I'm gonna shake the room or spooky and the other shit that he says. No, I think he really like is being overwhelmed with people going like in completely different directions. So it'll be very, very interesting. Would you say? You can't cut me off of my own platform. Oh, well, yeah, I mean, go live. You're right, I can't cut you off, but I will cut anybody off that's not going with the flow of the commentary. You wanted to ask that man how much he makes off of videos and stuff. That wasn't really where we were headed. Let's see. What's up, Mimi? Appreciate seeing you here. Hopefully I keep you entertained today and the next day. Let's see here. What do we got? Let me make sure I check my settings real quick. I'm going to do something for you guys. As I said, we were going to go a few more minutes, but you know, due to me being respectful of, you know, as I said, probably 100,000 times, Sonny, Ken Nola, and Octavius, we're going to hold back on that part of the content. Let me do something for you all real quick. It's going to take me 1 minute. Give me 1 minute. Hold on. Let's see here. All right. Edit. Right. Whoops. Hold on 1 second. Okay, we're good. I just wanted to make sure we were good for our next stop. 1 second. Oh man. Anyway, what'd you say? Yes, I've been here the last couple of lives. You probably missed me coming in. I did, Mimi. You know, because yeah, I did, you know. But I'm glad you're here. Sorry if I missed you. I try not to do that, but sometimes I'm really, 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 really bad on the comments because I multitask. I got like tabs open here, like real work, and then YouTube, and then bullshit, and then a game, and all kinds of other shit. You know what I'm saying? So Mimi, I'm sorry if I didn't recognize you from past episodes, but I will never do that to you again. What's up, Ryan? Always great to see you. One of my power mods. Let's go. No worries. I enjoy the content. I'm glad. I try. One thing that I do try to do, whether it's a great show or it's a middle show or a bad show, I try to make it a show. You know, it's not necessarily like the easiest thing to sit up here and, you know, talk, especially when you have certain things on the docket and you know about how long you want to take, and then like what your next moves are, and that schedule doesn't work out the way you want to. I do try to put a show together. I try to put together something that you can watch, not be like, okay, let me catch timestamp 111, or let me catch timestamp 1701, or whatever the case may be. I definitely want to try to make shows that you sit down and watch. And just real quick, the way to navigate my channel the easiest is go to the community wall, so you kind of know like the vibe of what we've been talking about, and then take yourself to my shorts. When you go to my shorts, it's basically going to give you like the highlights of all my lives, and then all you have to do is just press that. You'll see. If you want to expand upon that particular short, then just go to the long video and take a look at it. So that basically you'll get, you know, from the community wall, you get content, from the shorts you'll get content, from the short videos you'll get content, and from the large videos you got content. Just based on and the lives you'll get content. Just based on you know, how you like to watch the replays and whatnot. And then also I'm going to start doing more members only lives, and I may do a couple of premieres here and there. But always when there's premieres, see, people used to get mad at me for not participating in the chat in my premieres, but all a premiere is just a live without me. So, you know, there is chats and all the other stuff, but some people think I'm live in a premiere. Power Mob, stop it. Ghetto, you better be on that bullshit tonight. You know, don't just come in here and on that bullshit. Oh, there you go, man. You made up for it. Now we're even. Smash the like. Did you hit the like button, sir? Ask yourself, did you hit the like? Envy, I might drop by Magic City Mondays and buy you a drink. That's cool. I don't go to a lot of the actual inside of Magic City like we do. Look up, go to my shorts and see everything with me and Sean Paul, and you'll see it's crazy. The way that started is So Def is doing the Magic City the Magic City soundtrack, and they're gonna roll out a whole 25-year anniversary album specifically for Magic City. So it should be interesting. Let's see, you have good cadence. I try. I reinvent myself. I got to adjust myself, listen to people's complaints or criticism or praises. You got to take it all in and adjust yourself as you go. And then you got to take risks, right? You got to tell certain people, you got to get certain, energy, out of your life or whatnot that you don't necessarily want to. But, when you feel a certain way and it goes past a certain level where you start thinking crazy shit, you got to get people to move along. So I try my cadence or whatever, just because I've heard the criticism, me talking so slow. Candy's Wig, what's up? Candy's Wig is a ride or die, day one. Let's go. Hey, Candy's Wig, you see, I try to, I remember you used to say, Envy, you're not going live. You used to be one of the ones on my ass. So I'm glad that I'm live on a regular basis, Candy's Wig, and it's always really, really good to see you. That means that you're still riding with your boy. And just so you know, the content's a lot different now, because you know how we used to rock out on the night show. It is like that a little bit, but at the same time, now I'm trying to do shows. Because Candy's Wig, you know how stupid we got back then, being one of the evening shows, the Both 3 sector. It was kind of stupid, right? What'd you say? Call it what you want, but he was up there to ask questions, so I asked questions. Don't insult me. Okay. All I said was get your mic together, and I'm not gonna hold my tongue if I say that it was a little inappropriate just to ask somebody about their income or whatever. That just be something that maybe you should ask, in a different place. I totally get it. You're on YouTube. You want to ask somebody. I felt uncomfortable at that point. I'd be fake. I'd be very, very fake if I didn't say it. So I'm not gonna, duck and dodge. You're either gonna love me or gonna hate me. I don't have any acquaintances. I either have friends or enemies. Well, Envy, this was my first time dropping down. Overall, I enjoyed the interview. I'm glad. Yeah, it is your first time dropping down, and I do appreciate it. If everybody gave me positive comments along the way in my entire life, then I think something's wrong with them. You know what I'm saying? I don't like yes men or yes women. If you disagree with me, not only do I encourage you to put it in this chat, but I always encourage everybody to put it below my description. You can put anything there as long as it's not vulgar and ridiculous and disrespectful. I actually interact. I don't just heart comments. I actually interact, and I try to make changes based on what you say. Yeah. Absolutely, Candy's Wig. Yeah, you remember those days. Let's go. Now we got our vibrance and stuff around here. So, Candy's Wig, you got some really, really good backup, in the comment section. But the thing is, Candy's Wig, you're not going to have to, watch my back so much this time, because, we're a little bit more chill. This dude, man, late dude, go live. Go live. Don't wait for me to stop. You got to go live. Let's see. All right. So let's see. Please make nice with Diva. I think you two make better pals than enemies. Vibrant. Here's the thing, right? How do you say love without people fuck it? I love Diva, right? Not in a way that you guys want to take it. I love Diva in a way where I respect how she interacts, moves around the street, how she networks, and puts puts things together. What the fuck? Like, I know that somebody's texting me that's like in the chat or something. Oh, my bad. My bad. Woo. Thank you for the cash apps. My bad. Yeah, I was tripping. Yeah, don't hey. All the beeps on my phone, all the dings, from Cash App, I definitely encourage them. I was just talking about, because sometimes people text me to be like, hey man, you're getting off base, or hey man, look what's going on over there, or hey man, somebody went live on you. You know what I'm saying? Usually that gets that. But thank you for the Cash Apps. I really do appreciate that. You know, as a content creator, when you see Cash Apps, you see super chats, you see new members, like you really, really, really know that you're touching somebody. And that's the best thing that we can do. It's that's why we say, like, some of us say we don't care about the numbers. I mean, we care about the numbers in a way where we're like, oh, I'm so glad that many people are in here. But like the real supporters that actually take the time to not only send a super chat or a cash app, but definitely take the time to also participate in engagement in the chat and whatnot. So thank you very much. You know who you are for the cash apps. But Vibrant, back to you. Yeah, Diva, I love Diva, right? And that's what the problem is. That's what the problem is. When you care about somebody so much, then they do something, you take it to heart more than you would somebody you don't necessarily care about. So just being blasted for the last 2 days has been ridiculous. Yeah, she didn't say my name, but it was pretty freaking obvious if you were at my live last night who she was talking about. Fumbled the ball or a layup. I missed a layup, and people have to have decorum when they run a panel. And how can you blow an opportunity, have an uppity up on the panel, and like 4 or 5 different boom, 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 and jumping on my platform last night to apologize and say I'm doing a horrible job and kind of like, you know, wave a flag in the air saying I'm the worst person basically on the face of the earth. That was a bit much. And as I said, I'm not a very sensitive person. I wouldn't give a shit, but I respect the lady. I love Diva. Even if we go in opposite directions, you know, she'll be successful with or without me. All right. Because and honestly, Vibrant, the funny thing is when we're on the panel together, a lot of people say that we should have a show together. Every time Diva and I are on a platform without anybody, like we were at her show, people like really like the vibe. I like the vibe with her too, but she's been an asshole the past couple days, so that's just where I stand right now. We're just being honest about what we've seen. Yeah, I get it, Funky Junkie. I definitely want you to be honest. 100%. You know, as I said, I don't like yes men or yes women. If I see a bunch of positive in my chat, it scares the shit out of me because it's like, oh my God, like, you know, we have to have some kind of controversy or whatever. Yeah, please disagree with me. You know what I'm saying? I am not perfect. I'm far from perfect. So I'll probably spend a lifetime in purgatory, which I believe in. I don't believe in hell. I'll probably be in purgatory for quite some time. Hopefully I don't come back as a fly or something like that, or an abused dog or something. But you know, hopefully I'm definitely not perfect. I got some things to do. You said, I know you feel admiration for Diva, and you know she has the same respect for you. Hence, accept each other's shortcomings and keep close. Right. I agree with you. I agree with you, Vibrant. You know, but you know, Diva and I have very, very strong personalities, and I just think that she could have handled the situation a little bit different. If something takes me to a certain space emotionally, then I know something's wrong, because I have a grasp on my emotions, as you guys see on here. Like, I don't argue anymore really, and I definitely don't go back and forth with women ever. If you've noticed that, and nobody on here could say that I argue with women. It just is what it is with women. Like with a man, if they blasted their wall and did what Diva did, I'd probably threaten their lives. But with a woman, I'm not going to go back and forth. It's just not in my character to do so. Let's see here. He wanted to talk about work. Okay. Yeah, I get you know, if somebody wants to talk about work, never mind. Let's see here. What do you got? Hey, Tay Bay. Appreciate you. I'm glad I could put on another show. Tay Bay, we're going to be doing a members only live because we're going to talk about you know, a few things that go more in depth. I pretty much get a lot more transparent in a members only live. Also, Tay Bay, what I want you to do, please, check the members only community wall. because that has a whole different feel to it, because I tell y'all a lot more about that. And sometimes I even drop private links where we're not even live, where we can just go chop it up and not worry about YouTube. But just check that. And you'll see it. It'll say members only and the community wall. And you could be a lot more transparent there because, we're members. I know it's public. I know it's not some kind of private underground group or anything like that, but information tends to leak a little bit slower when I do members only lives. Fly on the wall would be a great, you get all the tea though, Envy. Pretty Eyes. The really, really cool thing is my mods are like the best mods ever. I know everybody's going to say that or whatever, but my mods are boots to the ground. You know what I'm saying? And I always say, like, when you mod for somebody, I mod for people. When you mod for somebody, you're out there, to get the information and also, share it in a way where you help with the content. I want my mods to feel like they're just as much a part of the show as me sitting up here talking to you all. And if they want to talk about certain content or whatever, they want to bring things to the forefront. I rely on my mods. I really do. And I try to, do special things. Like I do have a mods only channel, where, if they get the information there, it's definitely, there's no catch the replay, but we have a mods only channel where we really get, ridiculous. Let's see. Gotcha. Cool. Thank you. What'd you say? Diva was harsh, but understand why. She cares. Plus she's a brat. Right. Okay. Vibrant, there's a difference between being harsh and being dismissive, right? So let's put the shoe on the other foot. If I dealt with Diva, right, and let's just say I am a community wall idiot, I would probably put some I'd probably put some criticism up there, but the last thing I would do is I'm moving on or next or whatever, because you know what that does at that point? What that does is that's closure. And when people know what she's talking about, last night with Uppity, I was the only show on, so people know it. So like if Diva and I work, if Diva and I work in concert in the future and people have actually read all that stuff or whatnot, I look like a fucking idiot. Because I wouldn't go that far with her. If the shoe was on the other foot, I might put some stuff up there like you got something to learn, or something along those lines, but not next, moving on, next chapter, rewrite the chapter. Like I wouldn't write somebody off. That's just weak. I have all kinds of problem with my friends all the time. That doesn't necessarily mean that I walk away from them. That's immature to me. Let's see. And I'm always going to speak my truth. I'm not a bitch. So if I feel a certain way about something, you're 100% definitely going to know it. Hey, what's up, beautiful? Oh shit. Press the wrong thing. Hold on, y'all. What's up, beautiful Kimmy? Always good to see you. Always good to see you. See? Yeah. But let me turn that off. Let me turn that off. Okay. All right. So here's what we're going to do, y'all. Okay. So speaking. All right. So yes, my show, I would say, had another 45 minutes ish. But as I said, hopefully you all see this as fair. I did not come out here and attack this man. I did not come out here to put this man in a handbasket and send him to hell. I did recognize the negative comments more than I did last night, so we can get those out of the way. I also recognize the positive comments. I mentioned some of the research that I've done. And I also mentioned some of the due diligence that I did. I'm not going to just watch somebody's video and say, oh, you say that Marcus is a bad guy or whatever. I'm going to reach out, and you guys might think it's content creating. You might think it's clout chasing. You might think it's whatever. But in my mind, it's integrity, because I did reach out to these individuals that did put out the bad videos with Marcus, because and then some people may say, oh, you might want to bring over those people because you want to, pour salt in the wound. Well, there's no wound to pour salt in. We're being objective here, right? I don't think anybody in this chat, I don't think anybody that watched the replay can say that I slandered this man, that I came after this man, that I agreed with him or I disagreed with him. But if you guys feel that way, what I would really like you to do, I'm really, really, really trying to get people to do better at this. And in these sectors, beef sector, Mo3 sector, black sector, the one thing that we don't have much of is that engagement. Like we might get 10 comments or 5 comments or whatever because we're live shows, and then people feel like our live shows are the end of the day, and it's not. Yeah, hopefully these live shows give you enough information that you know you want to inquire about, and hopefully you feel like my character is of such to have that engagement with me. And as I said, like whether it's right, wrong, or indifferent, if this happens to me and somebody brings me to the forefront, as long as they're fair, you can bring me to your audience and say whatever you want, because basically it's just fair. And I'm always gonna do that. I thank you so much, Pretty Eyes. That means I'm doing something right? I might not be good at this, turning on the mic and looking at this screen right here, because I'm like Marcus said last night, he's like, you know, in an interview, like when we were doing like the little speed dating thing or whatever with Soul Sister. Well, we didn't do it with Soul Sister, we did it with Uppity and with Just Krista. We gave them turns or whatever. He made a really good point that says, like, you can't really connect with individuals like through these pictures. Obviously, we say that all the time. You got to see somebody's body language. You got to look into their eyes. You got to kind of see, like, you know, if they're nervous or they're happy or whatever the case may be. So, you know, I try. But yeah, please interact with me in the comments because I like to get better, right? I don't mind if you guys say, hey, you talk slow, or you got off point, or your content dragged at the end or at the beginning. We didn't like this song. It doesn't matter. Whatever you feel, or you're amazing, Envy. You know what I'm saying? Anything you all feel or whatever, please put it there. I will. I've made very, very calculated decisions based on that engagement. You know, people have asked me to, you know, add this or take that out or whatever, and I do it. Don't ever feel like just because you're a subscriber, you're just in the clouds, right? Don't ever feel like that. Because you're not that. You matter. If you're in the chat, you're in the clouds, whatever, you're watching. And it's up to the content creator to earn those steps. I feel like the first thing that people do is they find you, whether it be an algorithm or whatever. Then they sit in the clouds, or, you know, AKA the bushes. And then they feel comfortable to drop down in the chat. And then maybe they might want to come into the panel, but everybody likes their groove. They want to stay in their lane, and that's cool. So I value everybody, no matter, you know, how much they engage or how little they engage, because I get cash apps and stuff from people that'll never drop in the chat or whatnot. And I like to see returning visitors or whatever. I pay attention to my chat. I see who's here. I see who's not here. And then I see how people interact. I also watch how people interact with me out in the YouTube streets. Would you say I'd rather hear you over Lemon? No shade, just saying. Also, if people wanted to hear him, they'd be here. Although perhaps you want to be there, and I understand that. Really, we all make choices. Rather hear you over. Yeah, I mean, my thing is hey, you know, I'm a mod, and we. I brought out, obviously, I had some, you know, constructive criticism, some qualms, some things I brought to the table or whatnot, but he's taken heed to those things, and I have as well. I do like that he put aside some of our differences, and I put aside some of our differences, and, you know, we're moving without being dramatic. And I mean, to sum it all up, I basically said, like, lack of support and all that other stuff, and he's really stepped up to the plate to you know, to change that. So I'm going to do everything I can. He shares me out. He hit the panel, more of that, so he's showing me, you know, that cool side of Lemon, you know what I'm saying? So I'm not going to do an outro. I'm not going to do any of that, because it definitely messes up the redirect, because by the time the outro stops, you're not redirected. So I'm just going to go ahead and end. And I do appreciate everybody. And whether you're at Lemons or not, I will see you over there, or enjoy yourself elsewhere on the YouTube streets. Thanks again. I'll holla at y'all.